This is Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Taco Cabana.
You are looking live at Jerry Comalander Stadium on San Antonio's north side. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 10th anniversary season of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. And tonight we kick it off with the Gucci Bowl. It's Clark against Churchill on the CW35. Good evening, everybody. My name is Don Harris, along with our broadcast partner, Chuck Mikatinik. We're excited for our 10th season of TNL. And Chuck, what a better way to kick it off than one of the best rivalries in all of San Antonio.
Hard to believe, Don, that they've been playing this Clark-Churchill game for almost 4 decades. Now, Churchill's won 20 of the meetings, including every single one in this decade, but I know the Cougs are going to be fired up, ready to change their fortunes tonight.
And one of the guys that will help them do that if they're to snap this streak is Luke Gibson.
Luke Gibson, what has this kid not done since his time at Clark High School? I mean, he's played baseball. He's been a stalwart on the basketball team. We're going to see him tonight at wide receiver and defensive end, but Don, as good an athlete as this guy is, he's even smarter. He's going to play at the next level at none other than the Ivy League's Princeton.
Churchill's got a lot of kids who come back with experience, including their quarterback, Derek Perez, who threw for over 1,500 yards a year ago.
Yeah, and I can tell you about this guy. He will not be afraid of the moment. He started last year, and let's not forget, when this guy was a sophomore, he had to emergency start in a playoff game and won that ball game. This is an honorable mention all-district performer a year ago, and he's ready to break it all out tonight.
As always, when we kick off the season, it is toasty down there. Time for our countywide air conditioning, game time weather, and Mike Hernandez, who's sweating on the sidelines. Mike?
I am. It is a little hot out there. Temperatures are in the middle 90s. You know, it's not real humid. The winds are out of the south just enough to make it feel tolerable. We do have some buildups. You can see them behind me. Looks like there is some rain that's trying to make it here, but it's moving the wrong way. But at least if we get the wind, we'll be good. So as we go through the evening, temperatures falling into the 80s. The wind should stay up 5-10 miles an hour. Looks like a great night for football. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's 10 years. I'm ready to play some ball, put the pads on myself. I don't know about you guys.
You look pretty rocked up there, Mike, in your new shirt. I'll tell you what. All right, when we come back, it's our Hallmark University keys to the game. Churchill and Clark. Good night of football here from Comalander Stadium when we come back.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back to Comalander Stadium. Clark and Churchill, Game 1, Season 10 of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. And right now it's time for our Hallmark University keys to the game. And Chuck, first up, the Clark Cougars and Coach Steve McGee.
Yeah, for the Cougs, they want to be able to tilt the field. And by that I mean they've got to be able to punt the ball and get Churchill down and back him up in their own end. Secondly, get off the field on third down and then feed those big playmakers outside.
We asked Coach McGee, how does he feel going into tonight's game?
Obviously, we won't win all our games, but I mean, obviously, we got a great chance to win tonight. Our senior leadership has been outstanding. We've got 40 seniors on the football team. They're a close group. We're really excited about our season.
They're hoping to snap an 8-game winning streak from Churchill. What are the keys for the Chargers?
Well, they want to control the line of scrimmage. They're changing their offense this year. Secondly, find some explosive plays in the passing game, and then they too want to be really good on special teams.
We asked Coach Ron Harris how he feels going in.
Nervous anticipation, without a doubt. You know, that anxiety of the extreme unknowns going into a first game, you know, about your own team, about your opponent, everything that goes in with it. So, but a lot of optimism based on all the work, you know, they've done. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
One of the best rivalries in all of San Antonio. It's Churchill and Clark. We'll have our national anthem, and we'll kick it off when we come back.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Roselle Gardens.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Comalander Stadium, and here come the Chargers. Clark and Churchill kicking off our 10th season of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. The Gucci Bowl has been game 1 of the season, probably the majority of those 10 years. It's one of the best rivalries in town. It's always played on the first Thursday night of the season. And tonight should be a good one. It's Clark as we've said, lost the last 8 straight, but they've got some talent on that offense and really confident that this is the year they can beat the streak.
It's going to be a really interesting matchup tonight, Don, because you're right. Clark does have some really good skill guys. They're super inexperienced up front, but everything that they've got in terms of talent is there on the offense. And then for the Winston Churchill Chargers, these guys are actually going through a metamorphosis on offense. They're going to be going old school tonight as they go to the wing T look. So a lot of variables here, as you would expect on opening night, and I think we're going to have a really interesting ball game here on the CW.
Tell you what, that wing T is fun to watch. It's you won't see a lot of passing, but it's very confusing to the defense, and if you have the right people running, it can be very effective. Let's turn our attention to the public address announcer, Will Niehoff, as we get ready for our pregame pageantry.
This evening, our color guard is from the Churchill Chargers Junior ROTC, under the command of First Sergeant William Parr, Jr. Escort guard for the Texas flag, Captain Nathan Hadley. Carrying the Texas flag, Major Vanessa Bose. Watching guard over our national colors is First Sergeant Brandon Kwan. And the honor of carrying the national colors and commander of the color guard, Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Gagan. Please remain standing and remove hats as the combined choirs from Churchill and Clark pays tribute to this great nation, our men and women in uniform throughout the world, and all our veterans with the singing of our national anthem.
Thanks for watching the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff.
Welcome back to Comalander Stadium. It is now time for tonight's first half kickoff, brought to you by HEB. And it'll be the Clark Cougars. Kick it off to the Churchill Chargers, and back deep to receive for the Chargers is Luke Rojas, who you're looking at right there, and Gavin Castro. And doing the kicking honors for Clark is Alan Rodriguez, the senior.
Gotta love these big early season matchups, rivalry game kicking off the entire area's schedules. Teams get to experiment a little bit tonight, and then remember, Clark now, they've done away with zone play in 28-6A, so not a lot of non-district games for the Cougs before they start to heat up. So, in a lot of regards, these coaches are going to really get a chance to see what they've got tonight in this opener.
Rosas will take it at the 10-yard line. Near the 20, gets outside to the 25, and that's where the Chargers will have it to start the ball game. As we stated at the top of the broadcast, they're led by Derek Perez. Last year he threw for 1,579 yards and 16 touchdowns. But those stats could be altered with the transition to the wing T. There you see Coach Ron Harris, no relation, by the way.
I was going to say, your long-lost brother.
Well, I'm a Charger. Trying to remain neutral on this broadcast.
Oh, yeah. We'll make sure that remains the course.
And full disclosure, your kids all went to Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to Madison, so we'll balance each other out.
All right, so here come the Chargers. Cameron Reyes lines up part of that backfield back there with Perez on 1st and 10 from the 24. And they pitch it wide, and that's David Resentes. He's got a first down all the way near the 40-yard line.
You got to give Coach Harris a lot of credit, Don. I mean, you know, this is a team 2 years ago that had a really deep playoff run. They didn't make the playoffs last year, so they kind of revamped some things to try to play towards their strengths. And, hey, don't go to sleep on Derek Perez. I mean, this is a kid that still completed 65% of his passes last year, so they can put it up if need be, but they really like the stable of running backs that they have at Churchill, albeit they are a little short-handed tonight in this one.
12-yard gain before being brought down by Jeremy Gutierrez. So here's a first down for the Chargers. Perez with another pitch, this time right off tackle. And the Clark defense there to meet it right after a gain maybe of 1 yard. Let's meet the Churchill Chargers offensive starters up front. You got Jack Bana, Seth Allen, Jacob Wilson, Andrew Pruski, and Adam Efron. Those are the big guys up front. Cody Lilly is injured. We'll see a lot of the guy who just carried the ball, Resentes, Cameron Reyes, Jagger Collins, Michael Wade is the wingback, and Liam Copabianco is the favorite target from a year ago. 2nd down and 9. And there's the handoff to Resentes, and he breaks free to the outside across midfield into Clark territory before he's finally pushed out of bounds about the 40-yard line by Jeremy Gutierrez.
Really good job by the big fellas up front, by the Churchill Chargers there, holding the edge and allowing that thing to get outside. They got Pruski and Efron. One guy was an all-district performer last year, and then Efron was a 3-year starter for these Chargers. So you can expect Churchill's going to be running right a lot with those two big guys and how much experience they have on the right side.
That's a Kielbasa smoke meets. First down for the Chargers in Cougar territory. Again, the wing T formation. Perez hands it to the fullback up the middle. Short gain, maybe 2 yards before the Clark defense brings him down. Let's meet that Clark defensive line and the rest of the Cougar defense. Of course, Luke Gibson plays both ways. The big 6'6" kid, Benjamin Booker, Ted Rodriguez, Clifford Geyer, John Cortines, Colton Clark, and Chris Oskin playing linebacker. In the backfield, Jeremy Gutierrez already has a couple of tackles. He's joined by Connor Keeper, Zach Solis, and Camden Morgan.
And Colton Clark has already made a couple of really nice plays on that Clark defensive front to start this ball game.
Churchill shading to the right. They run that way with Resentes again, and he likes to go outside. He's got a nice little burst. Not much here as Gutierrez makes another tackle, and it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Churchill.
And Connor Cooper doing a really nice job as well. Senior DB coming up there and plugging that gap, put Churchill in a 3rd and long situation. Again, as much as we're going to see Churchill run the football tonight, they've got some guys they can get the ball to outside. So they're going to be multiple. We're going to see some different things, but again, it is definitely a system change from what they're used to running here at Churchill.
Got a full backfield there with Reyes and Resentes behind Perez. It's Reyes up the middle, and he's going to be close to the 1st down marker. In fact, if you look at the far line judge, it looks like he's got it. Camden Morgan made the tackle, but I believe it's going to be a 1st down. If not, it's going to be very close.
Can't say enough about the job Cameron Reyes does right here. Gets to the hole, and then watch him finish off this run. Goes right through the tackler and has just enough to move the sticks. And you could talk about how many variables are in play when you're seeing the wing T for Coach McGee's defense. I mean, this is something you just don't see very often. So, you know, it's incumbent upon these defenses to try to figure out how to stop what Churchill's doing here on offense.
Another kielbasa smoked meat first down for Derek Perez and the Churchill offense. There's Resentes. This time he doesn't bounce it outside. He's fighting up the middle, but he's pushed back. And again, Jeremy Gutierrez is everywhere. Connor Keeper in there with him. Kuiper.
Yeah, Clark doing a really nice job plugging this one up. Again, there's just so many different things you can do when you've got that many guys in the backfield, but Clark was equal to the task, gang tackling on that one.
Set up 2nd down and 7.
And already you're seeing what happens when you can run the football and move the sticks. I mean, Churchill's just taking chunks of time off this first quarter clock.
I said 3rd down, 2nd down I meant, as they hand it inside to Reyes, who picks up a couple. Have a chance for another 3rd down and conversion for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Harris, you have to really like what you've seen. Ball control style from your ball club and having really good success here on your first drive to start the season. And then you got 3rd and a long 4 here. Don't pick it up. We'll see if they go for it on 4th.
He splits out Copabianco to the left side, far left. He was his favorite receiver a year ago. And he's looking that way. Perez is going to run, and he's going to be short. Good job by that Clark defense to stop Churchill short of the 1st down. John Cortina is the first one there. And he had some help.
Yeah,
Clifford Geyer also in on the tackle.
Yeah, Clifford Geyer snipping this one out all the way. Got a really agile quarterback who can not only throw it but also run it. Picked up quite a few yards last year running the football, but Cougs, that's what you got to do. Swarm to the football and gang tackle. Great job there to make this 4th down.
Nick Falzone's going to try a 42-yarder, and this young man is one of the most talented athletes in all of San Antonio. He was 1st team All-State last year as a punter. He averages 44 yards a kick. He's a lefty, kicks left-footed, and this will be from 42 to try to put Churchill on the board, but we have whistles before the snap, and Churchill's going to burn a timeout to talk it over. We'll take it with him on TNL, Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We're coming back with the Chargers' attempt at a field goal, or maybe they'll decide to go for it. We're back after this. We're back at the Gucci Bowl, as you can tell by the shirts. Churchill and Clark renewing their rivalry that's been going on since the early 80s. Churchill dominating lately. It's been a pretty close series over the years. Steve McGee and Ron Harris, and Chargers have thought it over, and they're going to still attempt this 42-yard field goal off the left foot of Nick Falzone. Again, All-State 1st team last year as a punter, but he's also very good kicking the football and was making them from here. Got a little bit of wind in his face. The spot is good. The kick is low, but it's long enough, but it's a little wide to the right, no good. And Churchill's first attempt at points, no good, and Clark will take over right there. Had enough leg, Chuck, but just kind of hooked it just a little bit to the right.
Well, this guy's going to make his living punting at the next level. And as you said, there was a little bit of a wind coming in his face, and the breeze was blowing a little left to right there, but hey, man, it was 42 yards. It wasn't like it was a gimme, so good drive, though, for Churchill to start this football game. I mean, you come in, you move the football, you get a chance to get some points on your opening drive. Now we'll see what the Cougs can do with Big Ben Hooper at quarterback.
Big Ben Hooper's back there with Bear Wente, the diminutive running back who's tough as nails, and he's got it coming this way to the 25 where he's shoved out of bounds. You've got the long and the short of it in that backfield with that duo of Hooper and Wente.
Ben Hooper played some linebacker last year. You could see he's a wide kid, catcher on the baseball team. Excellent leader. Getting his first shot to really get some significant time at quarterback, although he has played the position before.
Fires to this side to Bivens. It's caught across the 30, down to about the 34-yard line. We had Kenny Bivens when he was a sophomore, and he was electric then. First team all-utility player a year ago. Here's a look up front with Gentry Dyken, Chris Lopez, and others. Bear Wente is the running back. Bivens is their electric guy. Luke Gibson, a favorite target, along with C.J. Correa at tight end. Here's a fire to almost the same play. It's an incomplete pass. Churchill thought it might be a lateral, but it was a forward pass, and it's incomplete to Kenny Bivens Jr.
Yeah, he just lost his footing there. Clark had that really set up nicely outside, had some blockers out in front, but Bivens couldn't keep his feet.
That'll set up 3rd down and 2 at the 33 for Hooper, who barks out the signals. And it's a quick kick. Hooper is also their punter. He gets a great bounce as this one bounces inside the 10. It's going to go all the way down to about the 5-yard line, and that's where Clark will kill it. Chuck, you talked about flipping the field. They did just that. A 62-yard punt.
All right, welcome back again. It's Hallmark University, our title sponsor, Taylor Mercier. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Now, you're the vice president there. First, on behalf of TNL, I want to thank you all for again being with us this year and being our title sponsor.
Well, thank you. It's really great to be here. It's exciting to be on this field. It's exciting to feel all the energy that these people are going through right now. So I'm really excited about the year and looking forward to it.
So what's new at Hallmark University?
Well, we've had an exciting year as well. I mean, we have launched several new programs. We've got a new program in digital marketing, a new program in data analytics. We have 2 new nursing programs. We just completed our first year of our AeroKai program, which is a partnership between us and Northeast Independent School District. We've even got a lot of Churchill students in the program. So we've got a lot of very cool programs going on and a lot of exciting things coming in the future. So
we have a lot of chance to talk about it this season. And again, thank you so much. We appreciate all you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Hallmark University, the title sponsor again this year as we go down to Brock Pittman.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Clark jumped offside, so it'll be 1st and 5 for the Chargers. If you take a look at our crew tonight, Brock Pittman, Joel Billinger. The head linesman is Tim Yarborough. The line judge is Brad Markham. The back judge is Josh Dahm, and saw the rest of the crew there.
We'll see what Coach McGee's defense can do right here. Did a really good job by Ben Hooper tilting the field. You certainly don't want to start your defensive drive off with a penalty, though.
Inside handoff, good for about 2. David Resendez getting a lot of carries here tonight early. That sets up 2nd down, 5 for the Chargers.
Yeah. Welcome to the new era of Churchill football, right? With its run.
Which is kind of surprising with the passing proficiency of Perez from a year ago.
Well, it's twofold, Don. You know, they want to shorten these games. They want to control the football. And, you know, Coach Harris really thinks that they can do a lot of damage by showing other teams in the district that all run the spread. You know, how are they going to react to seeing this every week?
Yeah, here's Resendez again. Does a great job of picking his hole and picking up the 1st down. There didn't seem to be much there, but great vision by the young man as the Chargers pick up another kielbasa smoked meat 1st down.
Yeah, and you talk about running this new offense, and, you know, Coach Harris has made no bones about it. I mean, he's got a lot of apprehension and a lot of question marks trying to do all this. And then, you know, add to the fact you've changed your offense because you really want to feature your running backs and guys that you think can really help you move the football. And then, you know, you start the season with Cody Lilly, one of your featured guys, getting hurt. So they're coming into this game already shorthanded to start the season.
Go up the middle to Reyes. He's got 5 more. And, you know, you're exactly right. It's a good way to, in a district where you have to play the big boys, you might need to be a little gimmicky sometimes, almost like you think of Rice or Navy running the wishbone. You recruit the right kind of kids to run it. In this case, you run the program maybe all the way from middle school. You execute something like that well, it gives you a chance to sometimes pull off upsets over teams that have bigger, stronger, better people.
Absolutely. I mean, and everybody's running the spread. So, you know, if you can control the clock, score points, keep the other team's offense off the field, you shorten these games. And, you know, again, defenses have to react to this. They're not going to see this every week, although Clark's done a pretty nice job here keeping everything in front. And they're getting a lot of guys swarming to the football and putting a lot of guys in the box, doing a really nice job. But, you know, again, this is it's week 1. Of course, there's going to be some growing pains if you're Churchill trying to figure all this out. But again, they do have a very adept quarterback. They're going to lull you to sleep at times by doing this ground and pound and full house backfield stuff, but they're going to take some shots downfield too because they got the guys to pull it off. So you got to be leery of everything if you're trying to stop this as a defense.
We try to stop it here on 3rd and 4. Perez keeps, has nowhere to go, and he only picks up maybe the line of scrimmage again before he's brought down by that Cougar defense. And again, Jeremy Gutierrez and company doing a great job following the football and making the tackle.
Yeah. Really good job by Clark and their athletic big guys up front, just kind of keeping everything in front and swarming.
We talked about Nick Falzone. He's the subject of our Sprouts player profile. Again, he was All-State last year, averaging 44 yards a kick. Volunteers with Stuff the Bus and the Spurs. And here's a high kick being fair caught right at the 42-yard line by Zach Solis. And that's where Clark will have it. Nice job by Falzone. And don't know if he's committed anywhere yet, but you know, when they go to those punting and kicking camps, they'll certainly get a look with the numbers that he's put up the last year.
Well, you know, I was talking to Coach Harris about that, Don, and he said, obviously everybody expects Nick to be punting at the next level, but usually college recruiters are a little slow with the kickers and the punters.
Sure.
You know, they want to look at everybody else, but yeah, if he keeps doing what he's doing, there's no question he's going to be dealing somewhere.
1st down and 10 for the Cougs. Ben Hooper turns and hands to Bear Wente, and he is drilled at the line of scrimmage. Seth Jaquist and company right there.
Jaquist got some help from Christopher St. John, but that is a very large man with football running through his veins, as it has for many of his family members too.
That sets up 2nd and 10, no gain. Throwing over here to Bivens. Ball is high and incomplete. They've tried that now 3 or 4 times.
They have, and Churchill did a really good job sniffing that one out. Theron Hayes Terrell and company saw that one coming all the way. Hooper threw it high. I think, you know, if I know Ben Hooper, he probably saw that was going to be a bust, and he just threw it high and threw it away.
Sets up 3rd down and 10 for Hooper, who sends out Luke Gibson far to the left side. Big, tall target, about 6'6", looking that way, looking at him all the way, and then throws really between 2 receivers. Is almost intercepted, falling just short at the feet of Seth Narvin. That'll set up 4th down, and Clark will have to punt it away. Lost the stadium lights here at Comalander Stadium, so things might get a little interesting as the sun starts to set.
Well, I can tell you that I'm sure Clark is happy that the sun has started to set, because I was walking around before the game down on the field, and I'm telling you, if you weren't in the shade, it was going to be an extreme disadvantage. And for most of the early part of the afternoon, the whole entire visiting sideline was exposed to the sun, but not anymore.
Hooper gets off a nice spiral kick, backs all the way up to the 15. Taken off is Luke Rosas. Rosas across midfield, wanted a block, but none of his Chargers could catch him. Nice return all the way inside Clark territory. That's where the Chargers will have it when we come back with 2:19 to play in the 1st quarter.
All right, welcome back, folks. I have a special treat for you. We want to introduce our new presenting sponsors this year, and it's Taco Cabana. You don't know how happy I am just to say that. This is Mike Vela, he's the regional director, and Gabriel Cortez.
Gabriel Cortez, yes.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Again, we really do appreciate you being a part of Thursday Night Lights. It means something when we can get a corporation, a company from the community to come out and join us.
Absolutely. By all means, we're so happy to be presenting sponsors this year. What better way to spend a Thursday night with football, high school football. So, you know, we just enjoy being out here, and we're going to look forward to a good season. So we want to invite you guys to come out. We're going to be celebrating our 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah, 40 years?
40 years.
That's crazy.
September 21st, we'll have a big kickoff at our original Taco Cabana on Hildebrand and San Pedro. So we want to invite the public to come out and enjoy the funds. You know, throughout the month of September, We're going to have live music, mariachis. We're going to have karaoke. And go on Facebook and Instagram and see where all the parties are happening, because you don't want to miss out. It's going to be nice.
The big one is September 21st.
21st at Hildebrand. We're going to have 5 locations in San Antonio, but the big one will be at Hildebrand and San Pedro.
Okay, and not to take anything away from that, but the biggest thing is the food. They have great food there, and Gabriel's got some. We got some programs too, right?
Yeah, we actually are doing bean and cheese taco boxes and flauta boxes for $9.99 for Thursday through Sunday here at all locations.
In celebration of Thursday Night Lights. That's great. Yep. All right, so appreciate it again. Thank you guys, and it's we're gonna have a great season.
Come out and see us.
Sounds like a party, Mike. Thanks. Churchill's got a quarterback change. Corson Hastings, the 170-pound junior, getting some reps here at the end of the first quarter and moving the football. Nice run by Cameron Reyes. Jordan Campbell lining up back there with Reyes. Resendez back in there now. And we've got a flag. Here's Brock Pittman.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Got some new bodies out there, a little confusion. And a penalty on the Chargers. That'll back them up. Make it first down and 15. A little more than that.
Well, I think you'd expect some of that, right? I mean, you're coming in here running a new offense, and as clean as things have gone for Churchill here in this opening quarter, in terms of at least getting the ball and snapping it, they've had some success moving the ball up and down the field. No points yet, but there are going to be some glitches along the way, no question.
And another flag, and again, there may have been some movement pre-snap.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
We're looking at a couple of new bodies. It looks like a mixture of the 1s and 2s here for Churchill on this possession, as they've substituted not only their starting quarterback, but also new running back and a couple of new offensive linemen mixed in there with the starters. So Ron Harris obviously feeling out what he's got with his personnel, as there's some confusion with Resendez and Reyes with that lineup. They pitch it to Resendez, and he bounces outside again. He's got great speed. He picks up the 35-yard line, gets some of that back, gain of about 10, but Churchill will have it as we flip sides. That's the end of the first quarter. No score. Churchill had an opportunity for a field goal. That was no good. We'll flip ends in the field. It'll be the Chargers' ball, and they'll have it second and long when we come back. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights on the CW35. Welcome back. It's time for our first quarter highlights, brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professional since 1976. And the big highlight of the first quarter was this punt return by Luke Rosas against a 0-0 score, and that was about the extent of the big plays in the first quarter, but the Chargers have it again and are on the move, although they've got second down and a long way to go. Look at Coach Steve McGee and Clark Cougars.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do here on second and long. I mean, they have been committed to this run, and I don't know how many points, but you take away the penalties, they've done a really good job to this point, at least getting the ball down the field.
Well, sometimes you got to put it up, and it'll be interesting to see if they'll do that with Hastings or if they'll put Perez back in there again. Perez threw 16 touchdowns last year. But it's Hastings who trots out there on second down and 15. This is his series. He's got the junior running back Resendez back there with him. He looks like a kid as a junior who's going to have a big, bright future here for Churchill.
Yeah, he's a tall kid. He looked like he's over 6 feet when I was walking around watching him warm up before the ball game. Throws a nice ball, too.
Got all kinds of problems here technically. The bathrooms are out on the west side of the stadium. The bank of stadium lights are out. Now the play clock's not working.
Sounds like a typical day at the Mickatinick house.
I've seen your play clock. That's very impressive. Not too many families have those.
Got to keep a pace, man. There's a rhythm to everything.
Second down and 15. They'll keep it hand-timed on the field as Hastings will go under center in this wing T formation, man in motion, hand it right up the middle, and almost getting the first down is Reyes. When everybody thinks you're going to throw, pound it right up the middle. A-gap type run.
Yeah.
Picks up 13, leaves him 2 yards short. Connor Kuiper makes the tackle, makes it 3rd and 2.
There's just so many things for a defense to have to worry. You know, Clark probably thought they had a beat on this thing. I think, God, they got to put the ball up at some point, and then they've done a good job of stopping all these runs outside, and then you're right up the gap, and darn near busted it.
Yeah, the motion by Michael Wade threw him off a little bit. 3rd and a long one. Reyes has the first down, and he has more than that, all the way inside the 15-yard line. First down, Churchill.
Yeah, when you have a run like that or runs in succession like that, you got to give credit where credit's due when it comes to blocking. And Resendez, even though he didn't run the ball in that play, threw a really nice kick-out block amongst other guys, obviously. But we talked about how veteran Churchill is on that right side. You know, at some point, you're going to get some long runs just because those guys are so good and so proven over there.
We're now inside the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone, as you saw the red banner this year. Here's a pitch to Resendez. He's tripped up and stays on his feet. It pushes his way all the way down to about the 6-yard line. Great second effort there by the junior running back.
Yeah, and Zach Solis of the Clark Cougars, excellent that time, making sure that that run went back inside. He was hoping to get some help from some of his teammates, but still a pretty nice gain there for Churchill on first down.
Nice job by the junior Corson Hastings running this offense for Churchill on this drive. It's taken up a lot of time, and the Chargers using this wing tee to their advantage. Second down and 2. It's Reyes up the middle. It's past the 3, pushes his way near the goal line, down to about the 2, maybe the 1.5. Again, power running by Cameron Reyes, the senior running back.
You're telling me, you talk about a guy finishing off a run. Look at this. First of all, there was a lot of room to roam right there. He found his hole, and then pow, 3 guys make contact, and 21 still pushing it forward.
Undersized, but won that battle all the way down to the 2. That'll set up a 1st and goal. Got Reyes and Resendez both in the backfield. Hastings gives to Reyes. He's lost the football, but they're going to call him down. Clark's defense did a great job to tackle him short. Ball came out, but the officials say it was after he hit the ground. Still a nice job by the Clark defense in pursuit there.
Yeah, Camden Morgan et al. Swarming to the ball again. Initially, I thought he was going to score, but then Camden comes up from his DB position, submarines that thing, and ends that play.
That ball was out. That ball was out. Churchill catching a big break here with no replay in high school football. Big hit. 2nd and goal. Reyes, nowhere to go. Now pushes forward. Did he cross the plane? He did. Chargers signal touchdown. When will the officials? They do. Touchdown Chargers. A big break. One play after what looked to be a fumble. Cameron Reyes scores, and the Chargers are on the board.
Look at the vision by Cameron Reyes on this particular play. It was designed to go right, and he saw that Clark had done a great job of bottling it up. So last second, he's like, I got to cut this back. Now he's just looking for anything, and again, he's just bully balls his way into the end zone. That's just outstanding effort.
That makes it 6-0, and here's foul zone for the extra point. It is up And it's no good. He pushed this one left. And so Churchill will take a 6-0 lead with 8:32 to go. The Clark Cougars will have it when we come back to Hallmark University's Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Churchill ready to kick it off after taking a 6-0 lead on the Clark Cougars. Strong running. And Churchill, the beneficiary of an interesting call, a close call, no doubt. But second chances. And Cameron Reyes scores to make it 6-0.
Well, that's the one thing I think that's been interesting. You know, I thought it might take them a while to get this offense going with all the newness of it. They've really done a nice job so far in this football game, getting the ball and doing what they want to do, running it. They're taking time off the clock. They're moving the sticks. They have a lot of big plays, but, you know, you keep getting 4 yards a chunk, and then you can cap off some of these drives with 6 points. You're going to win some football games.
Kenny Bivens. Excuse me, Chuck.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's hard for the other team to get an offensive rhythm because they haven't been on the field much.
Bivens and Bear Wente back to receive the kick from Falzone, who kicks it through the back of the end zone. We'll head it down to the sideline to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, I'm joined by a good friend of ours. This is, of course, Mary Ullman Jaffet from San Antonio Sports, Senior Vice President. How are you?
I'm great, Mike. Good to be here on a Thursday night.
I know. I can't believe we're already here again. It just seems like yesterday we were wrapping it up doing the All-Star game, and you had the Cheer Challenge going again. Speaking of that.
That's right. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy, is underway. So what we're asking is all of the area high school cheer squads to register their teams, and then we'll have the online voting starting in early October, and the winners can take home a $1,000 or $500 grant for their cheer squads.
Yeah, and I think you had like 32,000 votes last year.
And 30 squads. So we want more than that this year.
And the top 4, of course, the first 2 get the money, and then the top 4 squads actually get to participate and actually go to those All-Star games, right?
That's right. They will choose to cheer at either the All-American game, which is in the Alamo Dome on January 5th, and then our game, the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football game, presented by HEB, immediately follows that. So the top 4 squads will cheer at one or the other games.
Well, we've got a lot of football to get to before then. It's going to be a great season. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a part of Thursday Night Live.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Looking forward to the cheer challenge as always. And Adam, a couple of flags fly on that one as Clark tried to boot out and throw the football. Bear Wente, the intended receiver. Big Seth Jaquist was tackled in his pursuit of Hooper, and it's probably going to be a hold on Clark. But there was a second flag as well. And it may be offsetting.
Holding on the offense. Holding on the defense. Penalties offset. Still first down.
All right, so nothing changes. It'll be 1st and 10. Watch number 99 on defense. He's going right after Ben, and he was basically mauled there.
Yeah, I would too, man. That 99's a load.
But Churchill was guilty of holding on the receiver, and that ball's dropped and incomplete as it was intended for Micah Thomas.
Clark trying to work some short passes into the equation and then get some yardage after the catch, but they're having a hard time getting anything going here in the early part of this ball game.
2nd down and 10, and this light situation is going to get interesting soon. Looks okay on your TV screen, but it's starting to look a little dark here as the sun continues to set. Hooper going to keep it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all. And that'll set up 3rd down and long. Last time Clark was in this kind of situation, they had a quick kick with Hooper, who also serves as their punter, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Let's see if they try to target Luke Gibson on the outside here. He's going to be at the bottom of your screen, and again, you know, he's playing wide receiver right now in high school, but he's going to be a tight end at the next level. And this kid's a basketball player too, so he can go up and get it.
He's going against a sophomore too, number 11, Castro. Hooper running for his life, gets through a few tackles, but will be short of the first down. He'll be tackled at the 31-yard line by Fabrizio Perry. And that'll set up 4th down and 5. And the Cougars run out the punt team. Rosas will go back deep to receive it. He'll stand on his own 40. So it looks like the Chargers will get good field position again. Hooper gets off a low spinning kick, and that'll bounce to Rosas, who takes it out of bounds right at the 40, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
It can get a little hot and sweaty out on the football field, but it shouldn't be hot and sweaty inside your house. If it is, contact Air Today Heating and Air Conditioning. Their reputation exceeds all others when it comes to service and quality. Mention this ad and Air Today will waive the service call fees. Air Today is an elite comfort maker dealer. Call 210-519-5959 and enjoy cool air today. Proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights.
And we're back. Churchill's got the football on their own 41-yard line. Derek Perez is back in after Corson Hastings did his job and drove the Chargers to a score. Perez is right back in there with that starting unit. He's got the ball looking to throw. Good pressure, and he's sacked. Great job by that Clark defense. That was number 31, Colton Clark, who got there first. Clifford Geyer helped him out, but nice job by Clark not giving up on the play and making the sack on Perez, who really had a chance to make a big play if he's not tackled there.
You know, it was so funny. We were waiting for Churchill to finally put the ball up, and even more interesting this week, we sent our cameras out to Clark to get a chance to talk to the fellas and see what they thought about playing in the Gucci Bowl. And you could tell for Colton Clark, it's personal. Even his mom went to Clark. He wants this.
Pitch going nowhere. Again, the Clark defense right there, as Reyes doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. And that's Colton Clark again.
Teo Rodriguez doing a really nice job as well, kind of getting up there and busting things up as he squirted through to get to the backfield from the Clark defensive side of the football. But boy, it is getting dark out there.
3rd and 14 for Churchill. And don't let the iris on our camera lens fool you. It's a lot darker than it looks on television. Perez booting to his left. Pressure, gonna keep, gonna run. And he picks up about 6 yards, ball's out, and Clark says they have it. And they do. Turnover, Clark football. Cameron Morgan recovered it. Cameron Bell may have caused.
Well, let's take a look. Quarterback trying to make a play, picked up a block there from one of his guys, and just great back-end hustle, and looked like he may have been down, so you know, it might be even in the old football. Gods are keeping some score here.
I don't know, his rear end was either on the arm or that's too close to call. Here's Hooper throwing, caught, and a good gain of about 7 yards.
All right, Luke Gibson there making the catch.
Big kid, Luke Gibson, yeah.
But just a great play by the Clark defense, Don. You know, last year they had such a hard time getting off the field. They've really had a nice showing for themselves tonight, holding Churchill to just 6 points here in the first half and then getting that big turnover.
Clark gives it Bivens. He gets out of bounds.
You see Clark trying to go hurry up now, get a little rhythm to their offense, and probably just happy to be back out on the field. I mean, it's been tough sledding here to start, and then we talk about ball control and what Churchill's been able to do holding the football and controlling the clock. It's really tough for an offense to find its rhythm when, you know, they're just coming out there for a couple of plays.
Clark with their first plays inside Churchill territory now. 3rd down and 3. To Hooper, reverses to Bivens. Now Bivens throws it. He's got a wide open Gibson down the sidelines to the 5, and he's going to score Touchdown, Luke Gibson and the Clark Cougars.
How about that little play right there?
Philly.
Everybody's swarming on Bivens, and it's like Bivens has got a little junk in his game. Goes up and finds the big boy wide open for 6. Sold me.
Nice reverse pass. Luke Gibson does a great job of fending off the tackler and staying on his feet for the touchdown. Alan Rodriguez with the extra point. That is up, and that is good, and Clark takes a 7-6 lead. Good football game here at Comalander Stadium. The Cougars are in front. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights on the CW35.
Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, and it is time now for our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. Looking at the Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. Look at all these great young guys and gals over at Churchill High School doing their thing earlier in this week. Pep rally before the game, trying to get their Chargers fired up as if they needed it, with consecutive victories every single year in this decade over Clark in the Gucci Bowl. Everybody having a good time here. But game night is finally here Thursday night, and we here at the CW extra proud to say that the Gucci Bowl is kicking off another year of high school football right here on the CW. Good stuff.
I think they're going to ask all the fans here in a second to go out to their cars in the parking lot and turn on the lights. face the field.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we'll play in the dark. Let's do it. There's a huge pickup by Clark right there. You get the big burst of juice from your defense coming up with a turnover, and then your offense kind of counters and gets you the punch.
You're hearing it from the student body as well. They're excited. Churchill on the kick return is Rosas still on his feet. And you can hear it from the far side. That student section from Clark is energized. They're tired of losing to Churchill. It's been 8 years. Let's go down the sideline, Mike Hernandez.
Yeah, it's a great game. 7-6 right now, 4:40 left. And Gleto, I don't know what you brought with you tonight, but you got a lot of energy, man. It's all fired up. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm very excited about being part of the TNL this season. I'm very excited.
Now, you're representing the crew tonight, and that's kind of what you wanted to talk to about. What is exactly does the crew do, and how do you do it?
Well, okay, the crew is like a loyalty club. What we do is we're going to be giving out exclusive discounts and offers and all kinds of gifts and prizes and trips. And all you have to do to join the crew is text CREW, C-R-E-W, with the numbers 44332. That's CREW, 44332. Text that, and then automatically just start getting all kinds of deals. We got a big promotion coming up on Monday. This Is Us, the drama that's on News 4. That you get a chance to fly you to Los Angeles, a trip for 2, all paid, hotel, airfare. I mean, everything you got to cover is the meal itself.
Wow, that's
but
great.
it's going to get you right there to where you're at the premiere. And then again, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis throughout the season, and I'll be out here promoting what we got.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Did you play ball? Did you get to play ball?
I played until they brought in the no pass, no play. It was very sad.
It was a sad day.
It was a sad day.
In the Rodriguez household.
You got it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and with Cleto, they're not talking about going to the wing tee and running the football. Cleto, one of the best there is. Funny guy. 3rd down and 7 for Churchill.
Yeah, John Cortines, Teo Rodriguez, Cameron Bell. Boy, they have really had a nice ball game here and really have stood up for Clark's defense so far on this Churchill drive. I mean, you can tell that Clark has been energized, just, having a chance to make something happen positively on defense, and then your offense picking you up and try to get you some momentum here.
Zentez on 3rd and 7 picks up about 5, and you can see the 2 different spots on the field. On the home side, there's a bank of lights that works on the Churchill side at about the 20, and that's where you see these kids right now in the light. And then on the far end at the other 20, but you see on the visiting side the 2 banks of lights that fill the middle part of the field not working at all. So they'll be lighted when you're ready to score. But maybe not in the middle of the football field.
You know, this kind of reminds me when we were kids and we played. You know, the lights were never really that good at
Yeah.
night, and kind of gives you that old school feel. And then you got Churchill running the wing T here, so I think all of us going back in time.
The only thing we're missing is grass.
Yeah, that's right.
And dirt and mud.
Yeah, what a weird game, right? I mean, Churchill still with no yards passing and all these yards rushing, and Clark just in reverse. All their yards coming through the air and nothing on the ground just yet. So, been a weird game in a lot of respects, but a darn entertaining one to this point with 2.5 left to go in the second quarter.
Hey, you know, we got another exciting program we're telling you about, the San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare, recognizing teams that have exhibited key values through their actions to learn how parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org. You heard about the cheer challenge. They're also doing this again this year, and watch the halftime show for the teams that are going beyond the game. And I know, Chuck, you on Maximum Sports and Sports Sunday on News 4, both this weekend are going to have Russ Bookbinder and Stan Lang on to talk more about how these kids are making an impact in their communities, really doing good things with the middle school level, with elementary kids, reading programs, etc. And it's great to see that they're establishing a culture in these schools to go with selfless service and serve kids that are younger than them and the kids that look up to them.
You know, I think it's really cool too, Don, because you talk about all the things that you get when you're in high school and all the things that are being taught to you. And, you know, obviously these young men are learning a lot in the classroom. They're learning a heck of a lot on the football field as well. But, you know, these are some life lessons that they're learning now that they're going to take with them into their lives later on. And what a great thing to teach these kids that, you know, service is for your whole life. You know, whatever you've been given, it's time to give back. And it's cool that these school districts are making the effort that they are to teach these young men that there is so much more to what's going on in their lives and how much more value they can get from it by giving back.
Yeah, it's really cool to see tolerance and inclusion. So many times we've seen the special needs kids able to run through the banners with the teams. They work with special needs kids at their own campuses. The prom that they have over at Clark High School, where they give flowers and such and spend time with the kids with special needs, and also going down and working with the kids at the middle school level. It's just really good to see. All right, here's Falzone, and this is a fake, and he's going to get the first down, and he's got a lot more. He's a great athlete. Nick Falzone, you could tell early in the game, you just saw his physique. He's muscular, and, you know, he may be a punter, but this kid's a fantastic athlete, and he showed some speed there.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the orange shoes, right? You think a kid's going to come in there, he's an all-state punter, he's going to let it loose? Trying to pin the ears back on the Cougs, and no way, he's running all the way. And look, you got Clark guys are just worried about taking out some gunners, and next thing you know, 19's going down the field. Oh, that was a pretty good form tackle there by 23 at the end.
24-yard run. They had a try Falzone at receiver or running back. He's shown he can run.
Yeah, Zach Solis with the tackle, but that was a heck of a play there by the punter.
Churchill has moved from the light into the darkness. At about the 40-yard line of Clark, 41, new first down and 10. We've got whistles and a flag flies as Brock.
Still first down.
Brock Pittman calling a delay of game on Churchill. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that'll back him up to the 45, 46-yard line, and it'll be first down and 15 for the Chargers.
They've had a few pre-snap penalties, but I think all in all, given the fact that they're running this new offense, it's been pretty clean for Churchill so far.
Perez, the quarterback, going to throw it, or was trying to, running for his life, gets to the outside, and he's got room. Across the 40 to the 30 to the 25. Ball comes out late, but he was down, and it's another Kielbasa smoke meat first down for the Churchill Chargers. John Cortina's finally there to bring him down.
Really good job by the quarterback there. And, you know, as good as Clark did a job of getting into the backfield with so many guys, you've got to hold your lane. If you don't keep the guy in the pocket, you know, more than likely you're going to get an athlete that gets outside and picks up big yards. So you've got to try to keep the edge there. And if the quarterback's going to run, make him run up the middle.
21-yard gain for Perez, who hands off to Resentes, who only picks up a couple. He's brought down by Tyler Houts as we have another Sprouts Farmers Market player profile. This is Will Deacon. Look at that, 4.0. You're talking about the Young Men's Service League. He was the president of that. He's a National Honor Society member. He's also involved with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So hats off to Will, number 89 of the Clark Cougars.
And a Young Men's Service, that's really some good stuff. That's when the moms get together with their kids and they go out and do community service stuff too. Good chance for the mom and the kid to bond too. How about
ball
that?
Thrown, ball caught, touchdown, Churchill. Jordan Campbell on a BB thrown by Derek Perez, and the Chargers go back in front.
So Clark gets their touchdown on a gadget. Churchill keeps their drive alive with a gadget and gets some rhythm, and then they haven't put it up much in this game, but finding some success here. Look at that. Nice throw, nice strike. And just like that, Churchill vaults back into the lead.
Falzone's kick this time is up and good, and the Chargers lead it 13-7. And we're just now getting some information, too, that the technical folks here at Northeast have made a trip over to Heroes Stadium, which is just down Wurzbach Parkway. And they're going to try to transport a couple of banks of lights over here and get those up and working at halftime. So it'll be interesting to see. Otherwise, we're going to be playing really in the dark. Nice play from Churchill to go back in front with only 26 seconds left here in the half.
A really well managed first half by Churchill. You know, not only taking the lead right there, but milking that clock.
Hey, coming up at halftime, it's our Lockaway Storage halftime show. You'll hear from the Clark Cougar Marching Band and the Winston Churchill High School Band, two of the best in the business. We'll also introduce you to our Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week. We'll show you how they're going beyond the game as well. That's all coming up on our Lockaway Storage halftime show, so make sure to keep it here. Get lots of comments from people who say, we love the fact that you guys show the bands, and we love it too. You can also vote for your favorite band of our Children's Hospital of San Antonio $5,000 band grant. You'll just text Band 1 or Band 2 for Clark or Churchill to 44332. And at the end of the season, the band that gets the most votes will win our $5,000 band grant, courtesy of the Children's Hospital.
Look at that. We got some smart kids on the Coug side.
We've turned our
everybody on Churchill's side's doing it as well.
Football game into a rock concert.
I'm all for it. These kids know how to improvise, don't they?
That's awesome. Falzone's kick for Bivens is caught at the 1-yard line, and here comes Kenny Bivens Jr. He can fly. Bivens down the sidelines, across midfield before he's pushed out of bounds, and a big play from the Clark senior.
Outstanding job by not only Bivens, clearly on the run, but I mean, it seemed like he was 30 or 40 yards down the field before anybody laid a finger on him. Just great execution by the Clark special teams, and you know, now all of a sudden you're Clark. You got 18 seconds to work with, but at least you were able to get the ball to the other side of the field. Look at that.
Good vision, got a couple of good blocks.
Tell you what, if it wasn't for 19, I might have taken that to the hizzy.
17 seconds left. Clark with some momentum, throws to Bivens again. He picks up about 8. Gets out of bounds even more impressively. Stops the clock with 11 seconds. Braden Gill on the tackle. Hey, stand by after the game. We got great programming here on the CW35. It's the Supernatural and then the Originals. That's coming up after the game right here on the CW35.
I'm told that everybody on those shows has great hair. Was that directed at me, or was that directed at you?
Probably me. I'm told it's great programming.
Okay.
I've never seen either, but I'm also being told, I asked what are the chances that we have uniform talk tonight. 100%. But that's saved for the fourth quarter. Oh, we got new uniforms. New uniforms definitely deserves uniform talk.
Tell you what, I like that look of the Cougs, especially last year. Remember last year when they had the white jerseys with the silver numbers that we couldn't see? Thank you, Clark.
10 seconds to go. Can they do anything with it? They throw it out again to Bivens. This time he stays in bounds, and that's going to end it. Because they're calling timeout there. So they got it with about 3 seconds left.
Yeah,
Brayden Gill with the tackle.
Got to turn that thing and get it out of bounds and save that timeout. Now you got to Hail Mary it at this point.
They're going to put 5 on the clock. And they'll have it at about the 33-yard line. I don't think they have a kicker that's good from 55. So, yeah, you're going to have to throw it up.
Well, all you can do is give yourself a chance. And when that Bivens return, obviously Clark's going to at least have one opportunity to get the ball deep, and who knows? You know, maybe you have a pass interference call, or maybe you got big Luke Gibson to come up and go get it.
Should have saved that reverse pass for right here.
I'm telling you what, got the basketball guy right there that's going to go play football at Princeton. I'd be seeing if I could clear some sort of path for him in the end zone and throw it up.
The Chargers have 5 guys standing on the 10-yard line. So they've put their whole secondary back there. They got trips to the right. And Hooper is going to be pressured and just throws it out of bounds, basically, incomplete. And I believe that'll do it. Zeros on the clock, and that will be zeros on the clock. That will take us to halftime, and Mike Hernandez is joined by Ron Harris on the near sideline. Mike?
All right, Coach Harris, you got the first half of football for this year. What are your thoughts?
Got a long way to go, that's for sure. We're extremely fortunate to be ahead at this point right now, but we're our own worst enemy right now, you know, with mistakes, with penalties and turnovers, you know, missed kicks, not executing calls that are made. You know, Clark's playing their tails off, and we're very, very fortunate to be where we are at this point.
All right, well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coaches are never happy, especially in week 1. Hey, it's a great game of football here at Comalander Stadium. Churchill and Clark in the Gucci Bowl living up to the expectations and the hype. 13-7 Chargers. We're coming back with our halftime show right after this. Hallmark University's Thursday Night Lights on the CW 35.
Welcome to the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back to the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show. Right now, it's Churchill leading Clark 13-7 at the half. And let's go down to the field as promised. It's the Tom C. Clark Marching Band. you'd like to vote for Clark for our band grant, text BAND1 to 44332. That's BAND1, no spaces. Complete texting guidelines. You can also go to the CW35.com. This year's band grant is presented by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana, the 10th anniversary season. We're at the half where Churchill leads Clark 13-7. Right now, we'd like to tell you about our scholar athletes from Vulcan Materials Company. It's time to recognize some of the great hardworking kids with tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Each week, we will highlight one student from each school that is playing on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. At the end of the season, one of these students will be awarded a $10,000 scholarship presented by Vulcan Materials Company. Let's meet this week's students.
Meet Clarissa Valenciano, a senior at Clark High School. Now, Clarissa is the captain of the track team and is a 3-time Texas 6A regional qualifier in the high jump. She's also a 3-time Texas area qualifier in the mile relay. She also played volleyball but has decided to focus on track this season, which right now means training and getting ready for this upcoming track season.
Well, it's a lot of lifting, and we do kind of CrossFit style workouts, so circuits and cardio. It's a lot, but it's mostly weight training, and then sometimes the jumpers will do jump training and plyos.
She has an impressive 103.6 GPA and is in the National Honor Society and the Science National Honor Society, among others. She mentors at Lock Hill Selma Elementary and volunteers at the Start Center for Cancer Research. One of her favorite activities is the Latin Club, which she's president of.
It's been a really great way for me to grow as a leader and to actually learn a lot more than I ever expected to.
Clarissa says her older sister Karen and her parents are her biggest inspiration, and as you might expect, she has some big plans for the future.
So what I want to do after college is I want to have a restaurant. I want to open up a restaurant, and so I'm going to go into business and then probably with a focus on accounting. So I think
Andrew is a 4-sport varsity athlete at Churchill High School. Unanimous first team all-district in football, state qualifier in wrestling, varsity baseball, and he also throws a shot put in track. And that is just for starters.
I volunteer at the Blanco Vista Nursing Home with my church. With my church, I do ACTS, the retreat. I'm on the team for ACTS. I volunteer with Life Team, which is our church youth ministry. I'm in the NHS at Churchill, and I'm in the Winner Circle, which is our anti-drug club at Churchill.
Andrew carries a 108+ GPA. Tough enough to do, right? But when you're a 4-sport athlete, you're always in season with one of those sports, and that's very tough to juggle.
The biggest thing is time management, just knowing the right time to study and the right time to have fun with your friends and the right time to practice for the sport I'm in.
And who are his inspirations?
Definitely my parents. They always support me more than anyone else. They love me more than anyone else.
Andrew wants to go to Texas A&M and major in mechanical engineering and then maybe join the Air Force. Congratulations to Andrew Pruski and Clarissa Valenciano, your Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week.
sponsors. Welcome to the field, the 2018 Winston Churchill Charger Band. The band is being led by drummer Isabella Padilla, Ricky Gibson, Karen Rose, and Hannah Biagioli. The Charger Band is performing the fall marching program entitled Renovate. The program consists of the following musical classes: Aurora Awakens by John Smith, Full Around by Lord St. Sheila, The Promise of the Living by Aaron Copeland, and Reflections of Earth from Disney's Millennium Celebration. The Charger Band would like to thank the parents and administration of Churchill High School for the continued support. Please put your hands together for the Charger Band.
Fantastic job by Kara Kusenberger and the Churchill High School Marching Band. That was Kara on flute. To vote for the Churchill Band, text Band 2 to 44332. That's Band 2 without any spaces. For complete texting guidelines, go to the CW35.com. This year's band grant, again, presented by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. San Antonio middle and high school athletes are doing great things for our community. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare are shining the light on teams that model key values through their actions. This week, we recognize 2 schools whose community projects demonstrate beyond-the-game values. During the 2017-18 school year, the Clemens Dance Team packaged meals for Feed My Starving Children, helped build a blanket fort for children with autism, and collected gifts and supplies for students at a Houston elementary school damaged by Hurricane Harvey. During the Christmas break, the TMI football team visited Ryland Ward, a victim in the Sutherland Springs shooting. Players and coaches spent the day with him and brought him gifts to bring joy to his Christmas hospital stay. Both schools demonstrated the beyond-the-game values of selfless service, caring, and respect. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare salute high school and middle school coaches who inspire their teams to serve others. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Comalander Stadium. Look on your far left. That's a portable bank of lights there sitting at about the 25-yard line. They've turned on all those lights in the background. Those are on the baseball field adjacent to Comalander Stadium. And while they do add some background light, there is still a lot of darkness in the middle of the field. You can see it there. And again, it looks a lot better on TV than it does here in person. The kids will have a hard time seeing the football right there at the middle of the field. But you got to tip your cap to Karen Funk and her staff here at Northeast Independent School District for the way they've moved on this to try to keep this game alive and make it playable. And it looks like we will play on as scheduled because of the quick thinking and hard work that they did to get this going. Okay, time for our Associated Collision Center highlights, first half highlights. And Churchill got on the board first in his 2-yard touchdown run. Cameron Reyes, that made it 6-0. The extra point was no good. And then Clark's defense did a great job of keeping Churchill in check on that end of the field. Derek Perez coughs it up. Clark recovered that fumble, and that led to their first score of the game. A little trickeration as Kenny Bivens hit Luke Gibson. That made it 7-6 Clark there in the second quarter. But Churchill would come back. After that, they had a great fake punt by Nick Falsone, showing off his athletic ability on 4th down and long. He picked up the first down, and then Derek Perez hit Jordan Campbell on this short touchdown to make it 13-7, 20 yards on the play. And that's where the Chargers go into the half with that 13-7 lead. And Chuck, as we look at the numbers, again, Churchill's the team that went to this wing tee, but it's Clark who struggled running the football. And Churchill's dominated in total yards.
I think the biggest thing, Don, is the fact that Churchill has possessed the football for most of this first half. So, of course, this is one of the things that you can do if you're running the ball as efficiently as Churchill. They're getting points. They're doing a pretty good job finishing off these drives and scoring. And a byproduct of that is Clark's offense hasn't been on the field a whole heck of a lot.
All right, let's go down on the sidelines. Mike Hernandez, there seems to be a little bit of an issue, at least on the Clark side, when it comes to the lighting situation. Let's go down to Mike Hernandez.
Yeah, so I talked to Coach McGee just a few minutes ago, and he said that he was going to wait till there was enough light on the field. He didn't feel like there was enough at this point. With these lights that they've added right now, of course, the big question now, is that going to satisfy him? And if not, is there anything else that can be done? Can they bring in even more lights for the other side? Because as you were saying earlier, the middle of this field is definitely dark, and I think it would be difficult in some spots, especially on the field, to actually see the ball.
Make sure you ask Coach McGee if he can sing or dance or something, because we got to fill till 10 o'clock on the air with something. If we're not playing football,
I know.
Then we're going to have to do something.
Yes, absolutely. You're right.
All right, thanks, Mike.
You bet.
I'm sure Brock Pittman, the lead official, and his crew of TASO officials know the entire rule book and what the rules are and on whether a coach can just decline to play, whether it's a forfeit or whether it's they'll wait till they bring in other lights. But right now we do have a small delay as neither team is back out on the field.
I'll give us a chance to talk about both of these football clubs if you'd like.
Sure enough. Churchill going with this wing tee. Chuck, did Coach Harris say that this was something that he wanted to do long term, or this is just based on the personnel that he had just this season?
Well, I'm not really sure what the genesis was, but I'm assuming that would be the case. I mean, obviously this is a team that, just a couple of years ago had wild success.
Dimitri Flowers?
Oh, yeah. And in fact, he tweeted today talking about his old school. He's even still thinking about it while being a member of the New York Jets. But, You know, I think it's one of those situations where, you know, coach is looking at what he's got. And, you know, it's like he's got a bunch of new offensive linemen on the left side. You know, they're senior in that regard. But, you know, looking at what he had in terms of skill level, he really liked his running backs. So they were going to tailor it that way. And then, as I said earlier, I mean, there's so many layers to changing the offense and why they're doing it. And one of them is they play in a very explosive district, as you know, with all kinds of teams that can throw it, they can catch it, they can get up and down the field on you. I mean, you could start with Madison, obviously. You've got Reagan, Johnson, all these talented schools.
We don't have to start with Madison, but you would.
gotta be true to my school. But anyway, again, it's that, and when you can control the ball like they have tonight is a prime example. The other team's offense doesn't get on the field. So if you do what you do and you do it well, and it's like you brought up earlier about Navy, you know, that's a problem for a lot of teams because you don't see offenses like this anymore.
Yeah, you can train them from the 7th grade on to run this stuff, and you execute it well enough, then it gives you a chance to compete with sometimes programs that are maybe in your conference at the college level or in your district at the high school level that might be bigger, stronger, and faster. There's Brock Pittman and his crew. Let's go down to Mike Hernandez, who may have an update for us. Mike?
Okay, you see the crew behind me there, and what they just told me was that CPS is trying to get these transformers up here pretty quick. If they can do it, they will go ahead and continue with the game. If not, the coaches have decided that this light that is brought in and the lights from the ball field behind us are not going to be adequate, and at that point they would cancel the game.
Okay, so what kind of time frame are we looking at with CPS Energy?
That's what I asked him. I said, what are you looking at? He goes, well, soon is the best they could give me.
Well, we are kicking off our 10th season of Thursday Night Lights, and we have seen it all, from rain delays and lightning to now electrical. But hey, that's live television. It's fun. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Jerry Comalander Stadium here at Northeast Independent School District. You can see the light issue, the baseball lights on the right. Providing some fill lighting on that end of the field. But you see the two banks of lights in the middle that are out. They've brought in this portable light stand. And the officials and the coaches have decided that if those two big banks of lights that are the permanent lights do not fire up soon with the help of CPS Energy, who's working on it, but they'll go ahead and call this game. I don't know what that means, if it'll go as a W for Churchill or a forfeit or just a flat-out no contest for either team. But CPS is working on it, and we may have football here in just a few minutes, or we may not.
Oh, give us a chance to riff on these two ball clubs a little bit longer.
We were talking about Churchill before we went to break. And Clark, Chuck, I know have had some tough times in football in the last 5 or 6 years, even though they've had some talented kids. But right now they feel like they've got a little bit of a resurgence with the kids that are coming up.
Well, I mean, there's no question. I mean, this is an offense, Don, talking about the Cougars as we take a look at their schedule for 2018. This was an offense that put up 37 points a game. So, you know, they can be explosive at times. And last year they lost 4 games that were decided in the final 2 minutes. And, you know, they really get the sense that they're really building something good here. Again, you heard Coach McGee at the beginning of the game talk about this being a senior-laden group. But again, this is going to be a very interesting year because 28-6A has done away with zone play. And as you look at this schedule, believe it or not, Clark, I couldn't believe this when Coach McGee told me this. Clark has never played Brennan in football. Can you believe that?
Because
and
of
they're in the
zone
same
play.
district.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and they've got Harlan coming in as well, and they're 5A now, but they'll move up too. So right now you only have one non-district game on their schedule, and that's this one. And pretty soon, maybe next year or maybe 2 years from now, the Northside schools will just have this benefit of scheduling just each other and filling out their entire schedule. So that's the benefit of growth on the north side. You won't have to worry about all those non-district games that you have to schedule with other districts. They'll be able to do it all in-house.
Right, and you know, I think that was the benefit last year, was that you could kind of work on some things before you got into zone play. So in that regard, you know, their preseason schedule was a little bit longer before they started playing those games that really mattered in terms of playoff positioning. So this year it's going to be a little different. But for the Cougs, you know, this was very close to a team being excellent last year, and they just missed out in a couple of games. And this year, it's going to be interesting to see. You know, we've seen how good their defensive line has played already tonight, but they're inexperienced on both of their lines this year. So if they can get those two groupings to come along pretty quickly, because, you know, they got the Bivens kid playing some DB too for Clark. And they're putting their best athletes on the field on both sides of the ball. Clark could be one of those teams this year that is, you know, a surprise contender.
Well, we've got a lot of those teams that could fit that bill over there on the north side. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk and see how they're progressing here with the Lights. Right after this, Churchill leads Clark 13-7. We're in a lighting delay at halftime here on the CW35.
Hey, welcome back. I'm joined by Tony Ruiz, the Churchill band director. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. You know, we've had some crazy things happen on Thursday Night Lights. What about you? You seen anything like this?
No, this is my 11th year teaching at Churchill. I've never seen this happen where the lights go off in the middle of the game. So hopefully we get them up and running and continue the game. It's a good game.
So we were talking about this a minute ago. It's like, you know, you got a captive audience right now. You can really have some fun with the band up there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get up there and try to entertain the crowd and make them focus on something else besides what's going on down here.
All right, so while I have you, I saw your halftime show is very good. What have you guys got planned, and how many people you actually have in the band this year?
We have about 230 students in the band program. Our show's called Renovate, and we kind of mess with the fields visually and do some things with yard lines that you don't typically see. We'll travel to Austin and Houston in October, and hopefully try to get back to state finals this year.
So when does that your UIL competition actually start?
UIL will start about mid-October, and then the following week is area competition they have to qualify for, and then advance to the state level, which ends up being the first week in November, I believe.
Okay. So between you and me and the post here, first song that you're going to play out there, you got to do something lively, man. You got to get them hopping.
We're probably going to do some what we call shorty number one. It's a little jazz funk thing. It starts real slow and gets going with a lot of energy. So.
Okay, Tony. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. Take care.
The Journey song, When the Lights Go Down in the City.
I will ask him that.
CPS continues to work on it, as you can see, and we're getting word that there may have been a car accident across the street where a car hit a transformer, and that may be what has caused this lighting delay here. And they're working on it. You can see CPS, they're all over it, so it may just take a few minutes. Nothing we haven't dealt with before with weather, and hopefully they're able to fire these things back up, probably do a 10-minute warm-up and then get back to action. Meanwhile, there's still a lot of smiles on our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. Churchill cheerleaders having a good time. They're high school kids. They're having a great time. The Gucci Bowl brings out everybody from the community, and it has for the better part of 3 decades. And that man right there, the hopes and dreams of high school football fans and players are all resting. This is good live TV. I think they want me to throw to break. I think we should watch the guy. That's kind of educational. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Roselle Gardens.
Welcome back. It's Churchill and Clark. It's halftime at the Gucci Bowl. The background, you see the CPS Energy trucks who are here working on the lighting. The foreground, you see the flags at half-mast in memory of the late, great Senator John McCain. And there you see Brock Pickman and his crew as they are trying to determine if we will continue play here. Chris Kotfus, our producer and director extraordinaire, calling from the truck to say that they have tested and don't find any power on the line, and that does not sound good at this moment. Again, the word that we got from Mike Hernandez earlier was that if they could get it powered up here shortly, that we would continue. If not, that the portable lightings were not enough for the coaches to agree to continue play, and so they would probably call this game. But we are seeing the Clark student athletes starting to make their way towards the field, so maybe that's a sign that we're going to play on. In the meantime, let's do our player profiles. Chuck, Aaron Alleman from Sprouts Farmers Market, another one of these great kids we've been talking about.
Clark High School, big number 47. Look at that. Eagle Scout, National Honor Society member, a Grand Slam recipient from the Boy Scouts of America. That's good stuff, and that's see a lot of these quality student athletes at both of these high schools, and I can speak for many people that have had kids go through Clark that we've had a lot of great kids go through that high school, and the teachers do such a great job over there. And at Churchill, look at Josh Smetzler. Long snapper, 2-year letterman, academic all-district, a PALS kid. And if that wasn't a Boy Scout enough, he's even a lifeguard. And spending some time at the food bank and Elf Louise, other good stuff, all-around good kid. Why both of these programs are so proud of the students that they have at this school.
There's Karen Funk. She's the athletic director here at Northeast, and she's talking to Steve McGee. And again, there are some rules in the UIL that would allow them to continue play if both coaches agreed, even if there was substandard lighting. So it's right now, from what Mike has said, Mike, let's bring in Mike Hernandez. Mike, you were of the opinion that they agreed that both coaches were in agreement that there was not enough light at this point?
Yeah, apparently that's one of the things that the coaches, at least McGee that I spoke to personally, said unless they bring the lights up, unless there's more light, he wasn't happy with coming back out and playing in the second half. So that's the last I heard on that. The referees confirmed that from both coaches, and then of course you know the latest, no power to one of the lines, but Eric just went over there.
Turn around, Mike, turn around and look up. Let there be light.
And then
and there was, and it was good. It was real good.
Look at that. Ahua!
All right, let's go to the instant replay. They've got the CPS operator, the MVP, as he throws the switch. The switch is up, it's on its way, it's high enough, it's long enough, and it's good!
All right, looks like we're going to have some ball here. Football.
You know, I think the most interesting thing in all of this tonight was the fact that earlier we heard the fans chanting, "Let them play." The reference from the Bad News Bears in breaking training was epic.
Right. While I have you guys' attention, this is Justin Murphy, and he is the Clark Band director. How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Yeah, the guys put on a good show tonight.
Thank you very much.
So, guys, I'm sure you're excited. The band is excited. I know you've been keeping them entertained over there. What about this season? When do y'all start competing UIL, and what do y'all think your chances are?
Well, our UIL is October 13th, and the band's working real hard. So I think we're gonna have a great year.
Good. How big is the band this year?
Oh, we're looking at about 170 kids.
So again, you guys, you got something special planned for UIL?
Well, we put on part of our show tonight, and like I said, like they said, it's called The Black Hole. And it's based on Gustav Holst's The Planets, so it has several little quotes in there from the different pieces within that.
You guys are like way out there with your stuff. It works for you, though. But thank you so much.
Thanks
Good luck in the rest of the season.
Take care.
Okay, back to you guys.
Yeah, Gustav Holst, that dude, like in his day, was like Jonathan Davis from Korn. So he was like really high level.
In his day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was I would agree with that assessment. All right, we're going to have a little bit of a warm-up time for both schools. In the meantime, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have live football from Comalander Stadium and Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Just another delay. Just pretend it was rain and that one of those lightning meters told us we could play again. We're coming back with more after this.
Thanks for watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff.
Welcome back to Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana. We're at the Gucci Bowl where Churchill leads Clark 13-7, getting ready to kick off the third quarter. The Chargers and the Cougars both warming back up after we had a lighting delay here. The two banks of lights on the far side, on the east side of the stadium, weren't operational for most of the game, and then wasn't really an issue in the first half, but CPS Energy did a great job of coming out here and getting them to work. We're basically back on time, just a little bit of a delay, not much more than there would be in a normal, maybe a rain delay. And we're ready to play the second half of football with Churchill leading 13-7.
Yeah, good stuff from CPS because it wasn't looking too good there, especially with those lights being out for the entire first half, as you said. But a pretty good first half of action from these two teams. Clark got the gadget play for the touchdown, and Ron Harris and his Winston Churchill Chargers doing a pretty good job moving the ball with their new look offense. Counter punch, and just a fake punt, and then rolled it in to take the lead right before the half.
And just not full uniforms are here till the fourth quarter, but just a side note, you saw Ron Harris there. The Churchill coaches going with the gray addition to the otherwise red, black, and white color scheme. The coaches' shirts are gray and the hats. That's a new look for the Chargers, who have traditionally either been black, red, or white, so very nice. That's a hint that I want one of those gray Churchill hats.
I'm sure you can make that happen if you so desire.
Churchill getting ready. There's Steve McGee and his team. The Clark Cougars, who sparked on offense by that halfback pass from Bivens. He wants to play football. Let's go, let's go, let's go is what he's saying. And he's ready to get going. Clark's on the sidelines ready to go. Churchill's still going through their warm-ups. And I think McGee is trying to get the officials to hurry it up on the Churchill side so we can play football.
Well, that's probably at the discretion of both coaches, you know. When they feel like their teams are warmed up, then we'll go. But, I mean, the last thing you want after you've had the delay is to have one team or both teams feel like they're not properly warmed up before they get ready to start the second half. We already talked about Churchill starting the season without one of their more talented players. They're missing one of their star running backs. So, you know, it's too early in the year. You don't want to get anybody hurt, that's for sure. You don't want to get anybody hurt anytime, but certainly you don't want to make it an uphill battle to start the season.
McGee wants to go, and Brock Pittman, I guess, will try to get Ron Harris's crew. I don't know what the exact parameters are on the rules here, but Harris seems to me maybe playing a little sportsmanship here with gamesmanship, rather.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's going to tell Brock Pittman what to do. Brock Pittman's going to do what Brock Pittman wants to do.
Yeah, he's in charge. Hey, we got a lot of great football on our stations this weekend, including Clemson playing Saturday at 11 against Furman. That's one of those cupcake matchups, like A&M and Northwestern State tonight. Oklahoma's playing Florida Atlantic, Carolina and Cal. Akron takes on Nebraska, 7 o'clock on Fox 29. We got Michigan and Notre Dame Saturday at 6:30 on News 4. Not to mention the Cowboys and the Texans, an encore presentation right here on the CW35. That is Sunday at 4 o'clock. Those two teams playing as we speak, the final preseason game for both teams. And again, just as we're proud of Thursday Night Lights, we've got football on all of our stations all weekend long. We'll have the Cowboys on Fox and NBC all season long. Sunday Night Football and majority of their games on Fox 29. And as always, the News 4 Fox 29 Sports Department will be traveling to all Cowboys games home and a road, doing Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Fever, Max Sports on Friday night. It's football season, Chuck.
That's what I'm talking about. And I was talking to somebody earlier today as we take a look at our Alamo Real Estate Brokers leading your home. Smile, Cam. Everybody's still having a good time, even though heck, we haven't had football here for the last 45 minutes or so. But people getting into it. It's the Gucci Bowl. Why wouldn't you, right? Great way to start off the high school year for all the kids. But as I was telling somebody earlier, Don, I don't feel like I measure my years anymore on my birthday. It's always the start of another high school football season. It's like, I can't believe I made it to another high school football season.
I know. I was putting on my TNL golf shirt tonight and digging out the spotter boards and stuff that we use. My wife goes, I can't believe it's another season already again. Seems like you just did this.
Right. Now, and it's become, you know, obviously the season isn't very short, but football, like all the other sports too, it's just, they're seasonal now. I mean, they're not just seasonal, they're year-long, I should say.
Nick Falzone's kick's going to be taken by Bear Wente at the 7-yard line, and he goes to the middle of the field, finds a crease. Watch out! Bear Wente to the 40. Got one man to beat. It's Falzone, and Falzone makes a nice tackle for a kicker. Otherwise, Bear Wente may have gone and scored for the Clark Cougars.
Now, that's two really good special teams back-to-back for the Cougs. Remember, they had the long return just before the half. They weren't able to turn it into points, but they only had about 20 seconds to work with. But Bear takes this. Ooh, has a hard time finding the ears, but once he does, look at that. I don't think anybody puts a hand on him either until he gets about 40 or 50 yards down the field. One man to beat, but again, 19's having himself a night.
42 yards on the return, and the Cougars will have some momentum as Big Ben Hooper comes out to lead this offense right at midfield to start the third quarter.
Now, Don, this is a young man that really, he got meaningful at-bats as a freshman on the Clark baseball team, and he's just been one of those guys that's been wise beyond his years every step of the way. Played some quarterback at the JV level, played some linebacker even last year, so he's done a little of this and a little of that for the Cougs during his time there.
He fakes it, had a man for a second, and then the pressure caused him to underthrow the football, but Seth Jake was doing a great job of pressuring him, and big number 99 hopes to follow in his big brother's footsteps and play at the next level. Court was an outstanding all-star game participant playing at the University of Texas right now, and Seth is even bigger than Court was, and this senior, 242 pounds, has so far been all over the field for the Chargers tonight.
Yeah, this guy is even more, they're telling me, more athletic than his older brother is, and his older brother's on the traveling team with Texas. So this young man right now committed to UIW, so they've got themselves quite a ball player.
2nd down and 10 as Hooper looks deep, tries to get to the outside, and a flag flies late as Churchill thinks they were either held or clipped. Corey Potter makes the tackle, and we'll see what the...
On the offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So they'll back him up 10 yards and go back to 2nd down as there was a holding call.
Well, I remember Coach Harris telling us earlier this week that on defense, you know, with as many question marks as he's got going into this season, that they are more athletic and faster than they've ever been, but he's really concerned that he feels like there's so many unknowns because of the lack of experience that they have at some of these positions, but so far his young defense has held up.
He's got trips to the right-hand side for the first time tonight. 3 receivers, and Hooper instead goes inside on a little shuffle pass that was blown up from the inside out by that Charger defensive front. That time it was big number 89, Zach Reeves, who broke that up.
Yeah, the Churchill defensive line right now is just flat out playing bully ball. They're lining up, and it is really hard to throw the football or do anything when the pressure is coming right up the middle like it has been these last 2 or 3 plays.
So now it's 3rd down and 20 after that promising kick return by Bear Wente went to midfield. The Cougs have gone backwards almost 20 yards. They'll throw it over the middle. It's incomplete. It was intended for tight end, and Churchill was there to break it up.
Clark has got to do something, and they've got to put somebody back there to help out, because right now Churchill's pinning its ears back, and they are coming after number 10. He's got very little time to do anything back there.
Yeah, Churchill made some adjustment at halftime and decided that they could be had on that rushing the passer. And you're exactly right. Hooper's been running for his life in the 2nd half. Luke Rosas back to receive this one. Good kick over his head, backing him up all the way to the 15. He catches it as the center fielder, and he's got speed out to the 35-yard line. Nice return. And Churchill will have the football at their own 36-yard line when we come back. Chargers lead at 13-7 here early in the 3rd quarter. Welcome back. We've got a kielbasa smoked meat first down for the Churchill Charger. Derek Perez and company. Ball on their own 36-yard line. Call it the 35 inside handoff. Perez keeps fake that kept it. It goes across the 40-yard line for a nice gain of about 6 before he's brought down by Zach Solis. That'll set up second down and about 3. Churchill up a touchdown here.
They're going back to seeing if they can keep the magic going with the new look wing T offense.
Perez keeps himself on a little quarterback keeper. Bounced it. Looked like he got tackled, but he got away from it and was finally brought down by number 46, Clifford Geyer. He's had a big game. You take a look at 46, Chuck, and this looks like a kid who could play at the next level. He's got a big base, and he's been all over the place tonight. Good awareness here. It looks like he has the size and the speed.
Definitely a guy that's getting some looks at the next level, and one of those guys that has to put together a pretty good senior year in order to increase the attention that's coming his way.
Perez keeps again, gets a good block on the outside, picks up about 4. He got a nice block out there by his wide receiver. Into the ball game, and helping him on that play was Isaac Alamon. That'll set up second down and long, about 6 yards. Copa Bianco comes out here to the near side. Here's Alamon getting rewarded for that block with a carry, and he does a great job shaking off tacklers, getting all the way across the 40 to the 41-yard line and a first down.
Clark trying to do some ankle tackling, and that's just not going to cut it when number 8's got his hands on the football. Jeremy shot at him in the backfield. They're going to try to tackle him high, and he's just going to have his way.
Got a penalty on the play, though. It's going to back it up all the way to the 40-yard line. I didn't see that. Must have been a hold. That will negate good 15 yards, and Churchill instead will have a second down and 16 instead of a first down.
Well, Churchill's doing an amazing job with his new offense, and you think about missing Cody Lilly and him out with a leg injury, how much even better they could be at this point with one of their better players who's out.
There's Reyes on the carry for about 2. And usually in the wing team, you see a lot of action that leads to deception and misdirection and confuses the defense. Churchill's version has been pretty straightforward. And they've got a Cougar down.
Yeah, it's big number 76, Ben Booker, so we'll hope for the best there.
But Churchill's wing T, Chuck, really is nothing fancy. They just kind of run it right at you, keep you off balance a little bit, but it's not that trickery or fake or try to find the ball that you see a lot of times in the wing T.
Well, it starts in the middle. You got Jacob Wilson, number 77. I really like him. We talked about Andrew Pruski, also a senior, was a first-team All-District performer last year. And then Adam Efron, the other guy that rounds out the right side. And then they got a couple of seniors on the left side that have got a little bit of experience, but not much. But they're veteran guys, and Jack Bannis and Seth Allen. So, if you've got the guys that you like up front, and again, you have a quarterback that can play quarterback as well. He can chuck it, but he's a good runner too. And then you've got a whole stable of running backs back there. You can do damage being basic.
3rd and 14. And
2 guys in motion.
Yeah, can't do that.
And that's some of the problems that they're going to have to work out week to week, obviously. And I would imagine, Don, it's easy to be basic tonight because you're dipping your toes in the pool for the first time. And I would imagine this thing will get a little more intricate as this goes along.
Yeah, week 1 jitters, you have these kind of penalties, these pre-snap penalties, formations, lining up penalties, wrong snap count penalties. Yeah, they just seem to be out of sync here on now on 3rd and long. Keep your eye on number 4 if they want to throw it. He was a favorite target a year ago. Instead, they run it up the middle to Reyes. And it's not working again like it did the first time they tried it. Colton Clark with the tackle. And check out our Monarch trophies. Our hats off to Monarch. They've been with us from the very beginning. These 2 trophies will be awarded to tonight's winning team and player of the game. The trophies were custom designed by Monarch. If you're looking for trophies or plaques or custom engravings, call Monarch at 210-344-3777 or visit mtsawards.com.
And let's give credit to the Clark defense, too. I mean, they've really, really had a nice showing here this evening. And there's a block.
It's blocked. Look out. Clark, scoop. Will they score? Down to the 2-yard line. A special teams jam by the Cougars, and John Cortines with the scoop, and he almost took it to the house.
I'll tell you, this unit has been spectacular tonight. You remember when we did this game last year, how poorly Clark's special teams were, and it played a big part in the reason why they lost the game, but they got pressure right up the middle, and bam! Blocked that kick. 21 finally finds the ears, got a little bit of a chip block there, but just a great all-around play by the Clark Cougars to set this thing up. Johnny Cortines having himself a ball game tonight as well. Let's see if Clark can cash it in and take the lead.
Hooper wants to keep it himself, now pitches. Bear Wente, touchdown Cougars! Nice job by Ben Hooper on the option pitch to bring in the defensive end, take the contact, and get rid of it right at the last moment to Bear Wente, who takes it the rest of the way, a 2-yard touchdown run, and the Clark Cougars have tied it up and can go in front with the extra point.
Isn't it interesting? I mean, we've had very few explosive plays in this game, but on special teams, Clark has done an amazing job giving its offense field position in this game, and then obviously setting it up for the easy punch, and they've just taken the lead because of it.
Alan Rodriguez is good, and the Clark Cougars lead Churchill 14-3 after a block punt and a touchdown run by Bear Wente. We got ourselves a football game at Comalander Stadium. We're coming back with more. Welcome back to Comalander Stadium, where the Clark Cougars have just gone in front of the Churchill Chargers 14-13. The drive wasn't very long, just one play, 3 yards on the touchdown by Eric Wente.
Yeah, bare necessities for the Clark Cougars. And the end zone is something that kid knows all about as a sophomore. 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, 14 touchdowns, got him one tonight. And again, this is another one of those games for a kid like that. His dad played at Clark, so you know, they know all about this rivalry at the Wente household, that's for sure.
All right, can Churchill answer?
Hey man, if this is the way 2018 is going to be with the way we're rocking this tonight, sign me up. Onside kick!
And Clark may have it. And they do.
How about that? Go for the jugular.
Steve McGee. And the Clark coaching staff pulling one out of their hat. And guess who? John Cortines.
Why not?
Doing it again.
Boy, Clark putting the special in special teams tonight. And a lot of guys had a chance at that one. Churchill completely caught off guard.
Boy, that's a smart play right there. You got all the momentum. They're on their heels. They're thinking about what they're going to do on offense. And you give them that. Now, can they capitalize? They've had a couple of opportunities tonight where they had great special teams play and they didn't cash in. Here they are again, Ben Hooper and Wente. The handoff to Wente up the middle. Watch out. Bear Wente's going to score. He's at the 20. Touchdown, Clark Cougars.
Wow.
2 carries in a row. 2 touchdowns for Bear Wente.
And lightning strike twice. What a hole.
There's a party going on in Clark, Texas, as they call it, in the student section here at Comalander Stadium. And it's because of that man right there, Eric Bear Wente, going the distance after 2 special teams plays in a row, set up 2 touchdowns on back-to-back possessions. What a turn of events. The kick is up, and it's good again. And the Clark Cougars have increased their lead to 21-13. Fun times at Comalander Stadium on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. There you go. Clark student section up in arms, having a great time here at the Gucci Bowl. They've lost 8 in a row of these, and you could feel the frustration on campus this week and also the optimism that they had a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. And guess what? After a long lighting delay at halftime, special teams has sparked the Clark Cougars, and they've cashed in with touchdowns on back-to-back plays by Bear Winty.
Now, it's so interesting, isn't it, Don? You see this year in and year out. You see a program show some life and what it means to the kids that go to school there. It does enrich and fulfill what they're doing day to day, and it gives them a sense of pride. Here's another onside kick.
Do it till they stop it. They think they've got it again. They do.
You gotta be kidding me.
Why not? Alan Rodriguez with the recovery.
We get some smelling salts for A-Rod over there.
It's like putting Tim Duncan on the block. Throw it to him till you can stop him.
I'm telling you, this is just nuts.
It's the kicker who executes and recovers. You can't be the first one to touch it unless it goes 10 yards. But it looks like that kid's been working on that move all summer long because he knows just the amount of distance to kick it. He almost recovered the first one. He was the first one to touch it, but he couldn't get his hands on it. And it was Cortinas who recovered, but that time he did the exact same thing. That kid's got touch. Alan Rodriguez doing a great job. Here's Winty again, same call. This time he's going nowhere as Seth Jaquist has seen enough. He's fired up, makes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 2.
That's right. I mean, you're going to do it until you can stop it, right? We do the onside kick twice, and we'll do that little trap play over to the left side, see if you can stop it twice. And that time, Churchill equal to the task.
I'll never forget Tim Duncan's rookie year in Phoenix in the playoff series. Pop threw it into him. He scored 18 straight points on the same exact play on the right block. Hey, if they can't stop it, why don't just keep doing it? That one's incomplete, intended for Gibson.
Churchill's defense has been on the field an awful lot here to start the third quarter, and here they are. Been punched in the mouth a couple of times, but really big third down play, a chance to maybe get some momentum back for the Chargers here if they can get off the field.
Yeah, they're reeling a little bit. You're exactly right, making the analogy with boxing. They've been punched in the face, been knocked down. They're trying to clear the cobwebs and regain their footing. And McGee sprints down the sidelines to call a timeout here on 3rd and 12, and we'll take it with him, watch and look in. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
It can get a little hot and sweaty out on the football field, but it shouldn't be hot and sweaty inside your house. If it is, contact Air Today Heating and Air Conditioning. Their reputation exceeds all others when it comes to service and quality. Mention this ad and Air Today will waive the service call fees. Air Today is an elite comfort maker dealer. Call 210-519-5959 and enjoy cool air today. Proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights.
We're back. Steve McGee and his coaching staff didn't like what they saw in the formation on 3rd and 12. And we'll see what they run here. They're going to send big 17, Luke Gibson, to the left-hand side. Bivens is in the slot on the right. They bring him on a reverse and throw it to him. Is he going to throw again? He's got him. He fires for Gibson. Did he catch it? He did. Inbounds. Same play that we saw in the first half, all the way down to the 8-yard line of Churchill. On 3rd down and 12, they get 43.
So interesting watching this play develop, and sure enough, you see the safeties come up, and it's Katie bar the door.
62.
Unbelievable. Bivens is having a heck of a night.
Still third down.
Chucking it.
It's coming back. Let's see what the call was. I missed the call from, is it illegal man downfield from Brock Pittman. And so all the celebration is for naught.
Well, that's a huge break for Churchill.
That could have been ball game right there.
I don't know about that, but bottom line is, yeah, you go from Clark knocking on the door again after they just scored to all of a sudden it's 3rd and 15. Chance to get off the field again.
Run it again. Make them stop it. They got the same formation. This time it's Hooper on the shuffle pass to Wente. But this time he's taken and being driven out of bounds. A good job by 22 there. Jackson McWhirter of the Churchill defense. Clark will have to punt the football. Good call though by the McGee's coaching staff. I like the shuffle pass to Wente. He had some room in the middle. He got chased out by McWhirter, who did a good job of seeing it and stopping it.
Man, you're not kidding. I mean, that was a big-time play right there. You got Bear Wente, one of the most polished running backs in the area, doing his thing in the middle of the field with some space, and McWhirter did a great job squaring him up and then not letting him get another inch after he made contact.
So Hooper will stand at his own 30, and he'll kick it away to Rosas, who stands at his own 20. 5:01 to go here in the third. This kick is low, squiggly, bouncing, and Clark will down it at the Churchill 22, 23-yard line. And the Charger offense will have the ball for the first time in a long time as we check back in on the heroes of the night, the CPS Energy, and the Cheer Challenge. It's our All-Star Cheer Challenge. Register your cheer squad. First place gets a $1,000 grant. Second place, $500. 4 winning squads will cheer at the Alamo Dome on January the 5th. To register your cheer squad, go to the CW35.com. Registration deadline is October 3rd. Again, it's our San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, brought to you by CPS Energy. Here's a pitch and a carry, good for about 6, was Reyes.
Yeah, get a little chippy down there. That's what I like.
Connor Kuiper.
Guys sticking their nose in there and taking more than one guy to get Reyes down. He's running with all kinds of reckless abandon.
Sets up 2nd down and 3. 4:25 left here in the third. Churchill down a touchdown after being reeling from that Clark special teams play and back-to-back touchdowns. Perez had a hard time with his footing, but gained enough to pitch it to Alamon. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. That'll set up 3rd down and a long 2.
Churchill's done a really good job running the ball for the most part tonight, but Clark is starting to really figure out some of these outside runs. The edge guys are doing a really good job holding up their end and then making those runners from Churchill have to cut it back inside, and then there's good backside pursuit.
Big play for the Charger offense here. 3rd and 2, what do? They turn, and it's Reyes, and he's still on his feet, and he may have gotten the first down on the second effort. Excuse me, that's a new ball carrier for Churchill. And it was Perez who kept it. The quarterback kept the football. Nice fake move,
yeah,
and then better move to stay on his feet and pick up the first down.
Good second effort, and Clark kind of lost track of where the ball was. They had a guy who was right there ready to make a play and just didn't see who had it.
That's a Kielbasa Smoke Meats first down as Churchill makes the play call, goes into that tight formation. Perez wants to throw, has time, goes over the middle, has a man, and it's incomplete, almost caught. Great job by Liam Copabianco to dive for it. He had 12 catches last year for 183 yards. It was only a matter of time before they were going to target him, and Perez did a nice job of throwing it where only he could catch it, but it was too tough of a catch, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Liam's already committed to UIW. He had 3 touchdowns a season ago. He's 6'2", he's got some long arms, great ball skills. I think Coach Harris really likes his wide receiver group as a unit. This is what they want to try to do. They want to pound, 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 and then take some shots downfield. Almost got the connection there.
That was only the second attempt for Churchill on the night. There's an inside handoff. Reyes goes for about 2. As the clock ticks down, Gutierrez is going to limp off. He's been really, really active for Clark all night long. Has number 2, Jeremy Gutierrez.
Yeah, Colton Clark was the one that helped make that tackle too, and he's had one heck of a ball game. He's been on a lot of different plays. And again, this was a defense for Clark that was absolutely under siege last year, and they've really had a nice showing tonight here on the opening night. I know this is going to give them a lot of confidence going forward.
Perez is going to throw on a boot. Fires, has a man, it's caught for a first down, and on his feet and out of bounds is Copabianco. He's probably saying, hey, come to me more often. Cortinas on the tackle and the coverage, but again, a good route by Copabianco, and Perez got him the football.
Yeah. You know, as we said at the onset, I mean, they're going to run it, they're going to run the wing T, but
on the offense, 15-yard penalty. Still third down.
Don't go to sleep in these guys when they want to pass it. They still got the ability to do so, but unfortunately for them, that's another bone-crushing penalty. I mean, you're marching down the field, you come up with a big play, you finally get some explosion in the passing game, and unfortunately, you're going in the wrong direction.
Call was a chop block on Churchill, 15-yarder. That really hurts, really backs him up. They were across midfield, and now they're going to be back. The officials talking it over still about where they're going to spot this.
Well, as we look at Derek Perez, their quarterback, again, this kid was honorable mention last year as a junior, and remember, as a sophomore, their star quarterback for Churchill, Jordan Billups, goes down. He's out for a playoff game, and all this young man did as a sophomore was come in and lead his team to victory over Vista Ridge. So he's going to stay in the moment. There's not going to be a lot of things that flutter him. Certainly down 8 with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter is not going to fluster this guy. He's going to be in it to win it. And Churchill's quite lucky that they got a guy like this that's seen some valuable playing time already and already's won some really huge football games for these guys.
Yeah. So they lose a total of about 35 yards here, 15 on the penalty. And Perez is going to fire again. He's got Copabianco, fires the fade and just threw it over his head. And excuse me, that was intended for Jordan Campbell. And they just overshot him there. And so that'll set up 4th down, and Churchill will punt it away, and Clark should have good field position.
Well, I'll tell you, Clark almost got caught with her hand in the cookie jar there. They still had a lot of guys in the box there, and I'll tell you what, that was awfully dangerous to be in a long completion on 3rd and forever.
Zach Solis is back at his own 45, and the first-team All-State punter, Nick Falzone. This would be a perfect chance to get off one of those boomers. It's a good kick. It turns over for him, and sure enough, look at that. That's going to be about 70 yards. We've got a flag on the play, but an outstanding punt by Nick Falzone. We'll see what the call is. Did they rough him?
Or he ran into him, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they call it.
Roughing the kicker on the defense. Penalties decline. First down.
A 72-yard punt by Nick Falzone will take us to break. Clark will have it when we come back.
73 yards. 73 yards.
Welcome back to Comalander Stadium, where Clark leads Churchill 21-13. We've got a $1:44 left here in the third quarter. And Brock Pittman said roughing the punter, which would have been a personal foul, automatic first down, but he probably meant running into. And after that 72-yard punt off the foot of Nick Falzone, Clark has it in their own territory, and Bivens has it across the 15. He's one tackle away from going the distance. Flag flies in late on the tackle. May have been some sort of inadvertent face mask.
Gonna call it on the Cougs, it looks like.
Is it holding?
Holding. On the offense, number 17. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
All right, so it's still first down. McGee doesn't like the call. They'll back up the Cougs. And Clark now deep in their own territory.
Very careful with the football here, obviously. You're still in a one-score game, and boy, both of these defenses, for the most part, have done a really good job in this football game. And special teams have really set up both teams' offense in terms of scoring the points tonight. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Clark, I'm working away from 99 every single time. Man, that kid is big.
Big, fast, strong.
Tell you what, you can't coach the motor his brother has playing up at Texas.
First down and 10 for Clark. Little movement as they fly it out to Bivens. He breaks one tackle, and then look at him put a foot in the ground to create the space to break another. Oh, what a move by Kenny Bivens Jr.
That had no business doing anything other than being a 3-yard loss.
Oh, that's one of those highlight plays.
Special athlete.
Watch his left foot just planted in the ground, and the defender is still looking for his shorts.
You know,
Boom.
This kid started making a name for himself all the way back to his middle school days. Middle school legend, dominant playmaker. Getting some looks, but no offers yet. It's a little bit of a surprise, but you know, this guy's just too good an athlete not to be playing next year.
First down and 10, a kielbasa smoked meat first down for the Clark Cougars. 49 seconds to go. Hooper going long, going deep, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there by the Chargers secondary. Seth Narvin on the coverage of Gibson.
Yeah, got to do that. Big Luke out there running flies down the sideline. You want to see if you can shade somebody over to make sure, because if there's a jump ball situation, more times than not, 17 is going to go up and get it. And we talk about this guy's played some really big basketball games for some really talented Clark basketball squads over the years.
Sets up second down and 10. Handed off inside, and bouncing it is Wente. He was drilled, but look at him stay on his feet, break that first tackle. I believe it was Jaquist that just absolutely crushed him right at the line of scrimmage, but he bounced off like a pinball machine and just bounced it to the outside and still got a couple of yards.
The look on his face is, yeah, I just took a shot. He's still trying to collect himself over there.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, that was some really man-sized running, though, I'll tell you that.
Third down and 10 for Clark. Hooper's going to keep. Got to break a tackle. He does not, and so it'll be fourth down. The Charger defense coming through. And at that time, it was Jaquist and Miles Ursey on the tackle. And it'll force Clark to kick it away. There's big Seth Jaquist. And we may not run another play with the clock on the wind. We won't. And so we'll go to the fourth quarter with the Clark Cougars leading Churchill 21-13. We got ourselves a great debut game of the 10th anniversary season of Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We're coming back with the fourth quarter right after this. Welcome back, and it's time for our highlights brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. Special teams playing a big part of it. John Cortinas with the block punt. That led to a Bear Wente touchdown run. And then right after that, we had the onside kick recovered by John Cortinas. That led to a Bear Wente touchdown run. This one a lot longer, and Clark has moved in front, 21-13. We also got another one. The kicker for the Clark Cougars, Alan Rodriguez, has done a great job putting that ball right where he wanted it. And the Cougars, though, strike out on this last drive. They flip the field, and they will punt it away. And it's Hooper with a high kick right at Rosas, who will fair catch it at his own 40-yard line. That's not easy to do. He makes a great athletic play just to bring that one in.
You know, we talked about the Churchill offense and how one of the goals this year by running the wing T is the fact that, you know, they want to be able to control the ball, control the clock, and keep the other team's offense off the field. Well, Clark has kind of done that tonight with their special teams and all these onside kicks. I mean, now it's going to be time to see if Churchill can kind of amp it up on offense, because quite frankly, it's just hard to get a rhythm when you haven't been on the field that much.
They have not, but they've got to do something if they want to win this football game, unless they win it with defense. New set of downs for Derek Perez and the Churchill Chargers. Wade comes in motion. They turn and hand it. It's Reyes, the tough fullback, who picks up 3. And, you know, when you're going to run a wing T and you're going to run 3 yards in a cloud of dust, or should I say a cloud of rubber pebbles, you're going to want to get 3 yards on that first down, and Reyes is the guy who's been providing that for him all night.
Yep. Teo Rodriguez again, the junior, coming in, making a really nice job, doing a nice job filling. But again, yeah, you pick up 4 yards a carry, you do it every time, you're going to win a lot of football games.
I'll take 2nd and 6 if I'm a coach all day long. Resendez likes to bounce it outside. He does, picks up another 2. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Cameron Morgan with the tackle. But yeah, I mean, so many times offensive coordinators get too tricky, and you're in 2nd and 10 after some sort of incompletion, when really if you were in 2nd and 6, it's such a more manageable set of downs. And too many coordinators in the spread, in my opinion, have gotten away from just getting a guaranteed 3 or 4 on first down.
Well, you got that, and the other side is that Clark guys are doing a really good job staying at home. And again, can't say enough about the job that they've done tonight, because this is not an easy thing to do when you're probably looking at this for the very first time.
Here's Reyes again. He wanted to bounce it. Instead, he follows his blockers perfectly, and he's got the marker. I believe it's going to be a first down, and they'll move the sticks. They will. Nice job by the running back, Chris Oskan, on the tackle. But slowly but surely, this young man is creeping up on 100 yards.
And that's the key, too, for Clark. Just keep everything in front of you. You know, make Churchill beat you, but don't get beat by the big play. If they want to do 3-4 yards a carry, we can deal with that right now.
Alamon back there with him. They give him a break and give it to Alamon. He lowers his head, fights off the first tackler, gets pushed back after a gain of about 2. Gutierrez celebrating that tackle.
As well he should. He's had a fine ball game. Just a junior, number 2. Again, coming up and making a play, and he had some help from his buddies as well.
He may be closing in on a dozen tackles, Chuck. He's been everywhere tonight. Jeremy Gutierrez, and in the meantime also kind of fought off a little nagging injury there early in the 3rd quarter when he left the field limping off. He's come back showing some toughness as well.
And no panic from Churchill. You only down a score here and on the march.
2nd and 8. Perez keeps it. Nice little fake. Got the linebackers to kind of move outside looking for Reyes. Instead, he turns it up for about 9. Right at the stick before Zach Solis brought him down, but it'll be 3rd down and half a foot.
Coach Westmoreland over there flashing the signs. See what he wants his defense to do here. Again, keep everything in front of you. You still got the lead, and Churchill being awfully patient with his offense.
There's that crowded wing T formation. Alamon's got the first down. Picks up about 4. And as many times is the case, when you ground and pound, you begin to wear the defense down in the 4th quarter when people start getting a little tired. And this comes down to conditioning and toughness. A lot of times in the 4th quarter, especially in week 1 on a hot August night, it's conditioning. Everybody's fired up in the 1st quarter, but what does Jimmy Johnson say? Fatigue makes cowards of us all. And there's a lot of tired guys out on the field right now in the 4th quarter. Here's Reyes, bulling his way again for another 4. Churchill content to just hammer it straight ahead.
Yeah, especially on opening night, too. You talk about the nerves and the juice for a big rivalry game, kicking it off on TV. You burn a lot of energy doing that, too, so that also plays a part in the fatigue. But again, this is where games are won and lost, so you know, Churchill's saying, hey, we're going to run our stuff better than you can stop it, and right now in this drive, that's exactly what they're doing.
Smash mouth football. Here's Alamon. He's got 3 or 4 more, and he's still on his feet. Goes forward for about 5 before Benjamin Booker brings him down. But again, he's very close to a first down. And he's got it. They'll move the sticks, and it's another Kielbasa smoke meat first down for the Chargers, who are literally playing smash mouth football right now.
Well, you're right. It's been basic, but I would imagine the more Churchill runs this wing T stuff, the more creative they're going to get and the more exotic it's going to become as the season goes along.
10th play of the drive. This time it's Reyes. He breaks a tackle and goes forward again for about 3. Good defense by Clark. Connor Kuiper with the tackle. And Churchill's got themselves in a 2nd and 7 situation with 7:23 to go.
Yeah, I didn't catch the number of the kid from Clark that came flying through there. Kind of looked like he was going to blow that thing up and did throw off the rhythm of that run, but great job by Churchill figuring out a way to get 3 yards out of that.
Again, a lot of confidence right now from Derek Perez and his offensive line as they're winning the battle up front. And this is Perez on a keeper. He's got Alaman blocking for him. Watch out. Perez all the way down to the 10-yard line after getting a nice block from his running back. And we're inside the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone for the Chargers.
Yeah, not only picking up a block from his running back, but Pruski and Efron over on the right side just plowing a hole. Then he's got Allen and Wilson out there pulling. Chargers have it all working right now on this drive, and they're chipping away at that clock.
Almost like a great serve and volley tennis player. Playing it outside, playing it inside. Wouldn't be surprised if they go right up the gut after stretching it on the last one. Instead, they lose the football. It's loose. Perez fighting for it with a Cougar. Who's got it?
Geyer's in there.
Geyer's in there. And it looks like Churchill's recovered.
Geyer might be hurt.
It was Reyes who came up with it in a fight with Geyer, who was trying to take it away from Perez. Boy, great play by 21 to find. I mean, he loses it here, loses it again, and then somehow he's the one who comes up with it with his left hand.
I don't know, man. Once that thing gets on the ground, then it's a free-for-all. And I'll tell you what, you never know what's going on at the bottom of a pile or something like that. Yeah, that kid's arm all gashed up.
You can see on the right tricep. 2nd and 13. It's a fake. Perez keeps it. Perez inside the 5. Close to the marker. It's going to be short of a touchdown, short of a first down, but it's got Churchill inside the 5.
Well, Clark did a really good job making the run go back inside, but there was nobody there because, wow, Churchill doing a great job blocking downfield. They had 2 guys stopping some of those middle defenders from getting in on that play, and that really helped spring that one.
They've got 3rd and 3, not 3rd and goal. They can still get a first down if they get to 1.5. Perez goes forward, and he may have a first down. Doesn't have a touchdown, and they mark him short. But does he have a first down? That's all the difference in the world, where this football game would be coming down to about 1 play.
Yeah, I think he's got the first down.
It's a first down and goal for the Chargers. And you would think as long as they can hold on to the football, they'd score here. 14th play of the drive as we're inside of 5 minutes. Perez with Alaman and Reyes. It's Alaman. It's a touchdown, Chargers. And Churchill has tied this thing up. Not yet.
Look at you thinking ahead. It would be poetic justice
will
if they do.
Will they go for 2?
Of course.
They will go for 2 with 4 minutes to go. Actually, Chuck, I'd like to take credit for looking ahead, but actually it was just bad math.
Hey, dude, there's a bunch of guys in this booth that are in this booth because they were bad at math. You don't have to apologize.
You don't have to go far to my Churchill teachers to remind them of how bad I was at math.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody that does anything like this that we do for a living was bad at math. All right, let's go. Let's see it.
Football game may come down to this. 21-19. Churchill's got to have a 2-point conversion to tie it up. And there's a timeout on the field, and it's taken by Churchill. We'll take it with them. They'll try and tie it up when we come back. Great kickoff game for Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back. Play of the game coming up next. Clark leads Churchill 21-19. Chargers going for a 2-point conversion to try and tie this thing up. Here's the thing, Chuck. When you're wing T and you're that basic, does it hurt you when you get in this situation? You haven't thrown many passes.
We're about to find out because, again, we got a guy who can throw it.
Perez has Reyes. They swing it, going for the corner, and it's good. A 2-point conversion by Rosas.
There you go. They made that look easy.
Yeah, when you don't see it all night long and then you run somebody like that at it, he's their punt returner, kick returner. We'll be right back. We're all knotted up at 21. Welcome back. Churchill caps off a 14-play drive. They drained 7 minutes and 25 seconds on that ground and pound attack. They capped it off with the Alamon touchdown and a Rosas 2-point conversion. And so now Clark will have it back with plenty of time, 5 minutes, 4.5, with a chance to win this football game. Chuck, this is the Gucci Bowl that I remember. Not these 30-point blowouts. This is good stuff here.
No, you know, and last year, it seemed like every game that we had last year was 30 or 40-point wins for one team or the other, and this has just been absolutely spectacular. Big plays, two teams, rivalry. What more could you ask for?
They're going to whistle it out of bounds at the 15-yard line, so a nice break for the Chargers, but a flag is down. We'll see what that is.
Ball is placed at the 15-yard line.
And that's either way going to be a huge break for Churchill because, as we've seen tonight, Clark returning these kicks, they've been absolutely phenomenal setting up their offense. So the special teams have gotten Clark to this point. Now we're going to have to see what their offense can do because they are going to be really backed up here with 4:26 left to go. First things first, you got to get the sticks moving. And you got to work on this clock because you do not want Churchill to have much time left if you got to get it back to him.
And they'll take a timeout to talk it over. Steve McGee and his staff not fired up about what they've got called as we go back to our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam, the Churchill Chargers drill team. Memory serves, it's the Grenadier drill team. Fired up about that last touchdown. Chuck, it was the Grenadier drill team and the Lancer Dancers. And I'm not sure about the Pep Squad's name. I forgot. But I can still sing the fight song.
Well, I hope you will spare us that since we have a 21-all game here with 4:26 left.
Do you know the lyrics to the Madison fight song?
I do not.
Because it wasn't heavy metal.
Good point.
Hey, remember to nominate your team for Beyond the Game. Share their story. If you know a good story of local teams that are middle school or high school teams, doesn't matter what sport, that are doing good things for their community, values of respect, integrity, self-service, sportsmanship, and caring, nominate them. And we will feature them as we go Beyond the Game all season, brought to you by Methodist Healthcare. All right, 1st and 10. Hooper fires over to the big guy, Gibson. He's across the 15, and he's driven down at the 20, and driven down at the 21. Seth Narvid there to clean it up.
That's a good, safe play call for Clark to get this drive going. You know, find the guys, let the seniors do their thing, find the guy that's going to Princeton, and most importantly, get the clock going.
Hooper joined by Wente in the backfield. He's got Bivens on the right side. He's very electric and capable of going deep. It's Wente. Good pressure. 76 making a play. Chris St. John blowing it up for the Charger defense.
234 pounds, senior defensive lineman, CSJ. Look at this. Just fighting through and blowing this up himself. Goes right through his man. Puts out one of those big chicken wings and wrestles Bear to the ground. He'll do some bear wrestling.
That's a big-time play by that young man. Sets up 3rd and 8. We'll take it with them. The game hangs in the balance when we come back. Churchill, Clark, knotted up, 21. Back time for our Baptist Hospital collision of the game. And it was Reyes getting drilled by Camden Morgan and Zach Solisa Clark. Lowering the boom near the goal line. And that is our collision of the game. Brought to you by Baptist Emergency Hospital. Play of the game right here, 3rd down and 8. Hooper looking for Bivens on the right side, wants to go deep. Does. Bivens got coverage back there, and it's overshot as the Churchill secondary saw it coming, and quite honestly, Hooper just hung it up there a little too high.
No, I think he did a good job there. He threw it deep. I thought Bivens kind of cut off his route and had a hard time judging the football, but yeah, that was a huge play, obviously, on 3rd and 8, and well, Coach Harris doing some Andy Reid action with these timeouts, burning them early to try to give his wing T offense as much time possible, and a huge stand for Churchill, obviously blowing that stuff up on 2nd down, making it tough for the Cougs. And now, assuming Clark does punt this football.
Marcus Terry on the coverage there did a nice job for Churchill, as Hooper's kick is going to be fielded by Rosas at the 50, trying to get outside, cannot. In fact, he's driven back to his own 45. Clark's all fired up about it, and the flag comes in late. May have been taunting. Let's see what happened after this. Here's Brock Pittman. Chris Oscan got there, was very fired up about the play he made, and there's 2 flags down. Don't know if it's a call that actually happened that affected the play, or if it was a little unsportsmanlike at the end of it.
There was a super open field tackle there on special teams either way. But this is a huge call, obviously, no matter what, because if it's on Clark, that ball's going to come across midfield, and that's really going to set up the Churchill offense. And considering what they just did on their last drive, Cougs don't need to give them any help.
And this football game with 3:22 and the way that they run the football, and maybe a very interested young man there wearing orange shoes thinking about this one.
2 fouls on the play. Locking below the waist on the return team. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team. 1st down, Churchill.
We saw the play at the end. I didn't see the block below the waist, but Oscam obviously at the end of this, 24. He should be fired up about that, making that play, but testosterone gets the better of him there, and they're not going to tolerate that kind of taunting. I didn't see anything particularly horrible about it.
But it's a good lesson to learn, especially here, in the preseason before these guys start their league play. You just don't want to be caught in any of that stuff or anything that would draw a flag when you're talking about a 21-21 game with 3:22 left in the contest.
I was talking about Nick Falsone earlier. Great kicker punter. He struggled a little bit tonight. Had one right, had one left. It may come down to his foot. Here's Perez. Inside handoff to Alamon. He's still fighting off tacklers. He picks up about 5 before he's pushed back, so it'll be about 2nd down and 5 or 6. John Cortinas and Chris Oscan there. Excuse me. time not an issue for Churchill at this point.
Indeed, and again, it's the same thing that Clark had to deal with. It's like you've got to move the sticks first. You're fighting the clock, yes, and the scoreboard, but you've got to make sure that if you do have to punt it or give it back, you don't want the other team to have any time left in which to operate.
There's Alamon again. He's spinning, trying to lay backwards, gain another couple. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Colton Clark and Camden Morgan on the tackle.
And Connor Cooper finally doing something that we haven't seen a lot of tonight, and it's in the ball carriers being stood up. Somebody get in there and try to strip that football.
3rd and 3 as we tick, tick, tick near the 2-minute mark. Again, Churchill seems to be in no hurry. They'll get in a big hurry if they convert here.
Well, they got 1 timeout left, and there's still plenty of time because you're only talking about probably trying to get to maybe just inside the 30 to give your kicker a chance.
They've got Resendez in there now. They fake it to him and they keep Perez. Perez to the 40. He's got the 1st down and gets out of bounds wisely with 1:47 to go. Chargers have a new set of downs. Zach Solis on the tackle, and now they're in business. Now they'll be a little more urgent to run plays quickly.
Derek Perez, you got the senior quarterback taking the ball right there, something safe, and then again, riding behind those 2 big bullies in Pruski and Efron on the right side.
Tie ball game, under 2 to play, and Churchill hasn't thrown it much at all. Perez, hands inside, and that time Reyes is stopped for only a gain of about 1 or 2. The Clark defensive line making a big play there. 76.
66, Teo Rodriguez. That kid's had a really nice game tonight. Called his number a lot. A lot.
2nd down and 8, 1:26 to go. Something tells me Liam Capabianco, very talented receiver who hasn't been targeted much, may end up playing a role in this one. He's got single coverage at the bottom of your screen. They've got Reyes and Alamon. They fake, and they're looking for Capabianco. Perez instead fires.
Did he take a shot?
And it's incomplete as he took a shot right after he delivered it. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock. He was looking for Capabianco, who it looked like got held up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was being jammed.
Pushed off his route.
Yeah, it was just really, really good coverage. They were pressing the receiver out there, but take a look at the shot. Mercy.
That sets up 3rd down and 8.
That was Oz again, the kid that made the play on the special teams before.
Early in this ball game, when facing these kind of situations, they ran action to the outside and handed it back up the middle to Reyes. I don't know if they can do that at this point. They may need to throw the football. Rosas is in there. He's got speed. He comes in motion. Instead, they hand it to Reyes up the middle. Not enough for the 1st down. It's going to set up 4th down and about 3. They call timeout to talk it over. And I think you go for it here no matter what. 1 more 1st down, 10 more yards, and you put yourself in a pretty good position with Falzone. If you don't convert here, there's no reason to punt it because Clark would still have 70 to go. So this is a no-brainer in my mind that you go for it here on 4th down.
Well, no matter how Churchill decides to play it, we can only hope that the rest of our Hallmark University TNL schedule presented by Taco Cabana looks like this game tonight. I mean, what a ball game we got coming up next week, huh? 28-6A, we'll get Brandeis and Stevens. We already got a league game and it's week 2.
I think the other thing you think about here too is putting it in Falzone's foot right here at 47 yards, but he had plenty of leg at 42, but missed it wide left. I think you could if you had less on the clock, but I think with 50 seconds to go here, as good as the running game has been, at 4th and 3, I think you take your chances on getting 3 yards here.
Yeah, just saw too that a cracked stat, man. Mark Kusenberger telling us that Stevens won their ball game tonight against Bernie Champion, so looks like they might be pretty good this year.
They run it to Rosas, gets out of bounds and has the first down with plenty to spare. Zach Solis on the tackle, stops the clock with 47 seconds, and now we start to calculate the distance of a Nick Falzone game winner.
Well, the biggest thing is now for Churchill, you've got to be super cognizant of what's going on with that game clock. You got to make sure everybody's on the same page.
It'd be about 42 from here. Let's see what they're able to get with 47 seconds left. Perez wants to throw, now keeps, now goes up the middle. Perez all the way down to the 10-yard line. The Chargers in business now. Camden Morgan making the tackle, but a great play by Nick Perez. Churchill wants to go quick. Tick-tock at 37. And he spikes it to stop the clock.
How about that? Perez doing a really good job on that previous play. Looked like he was going to throw it outside, kept it himself, and was able to find a little crease and cut it right back up the middle for a pretty sizable gain.
Inside our Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone. And now Ron Harris is thinking, as all coaches do, do you put it in the hands of a kicker who's missed twice tonight? Or do you continue to pound it and hope you got to score a touchdown? Harris with stopwatch in hand, watching Perez with Aleman and Rosas behind him. Wade comes in motion. They go to Reyes straight up the middle. He gets 3 or 4 more, and now we're in extra point territory as Colton Clark makes the tackle. And Churchill will take another timeout, their last, with 17 seconds to go. This is interesting. With no timeouts in 17 seconds, you have a huge risk of not being able to get one more play off if for some reason you're stopped in bounds. So this is either throw it into the end zone, throw it away, and kick it, because you can't run it in the middle of the field and get your kicking team on there, I don't think so, in 22 seconds and run 2 plays.
Well, I think they're doing it right now because, you know, if you have a botched snap or something, at least you'll have another chance to do it on 4th down.
So you think they line it up here and kick it right here?
Yeah, I would.
With no timeouts. Yeah, at the high school level, I think you're right. I think if you know, a lot of coaches would take one shot into the end zone. So much can happen. They're going to do something other than kick it because they run Wade out there along with Aleman and Reyes, and no timeouts.
I'll run a fade for your big star wide receiver out there on the left.
They're doing just that. And it's Copabianco, and he's got it, and it's a touchdown. Churchill, Liam Copabianco.
Why not? What a ball game. What a comeback.
Derek Perez on the money with a fade to his favorite receiver. After all that ground and pound, they go back to the 2 guys who had put up stats from a year ago.
Well, they had single coverage out there, so, you know, worst case scenario, you're looking at a play where if it's incomplete, you know, you don't run a whole lot of time off the clock. So just a well-executed play by Churchill and unbelievable clock management from Coach Harris and his staff.
Fantastic job from Derek Perez. He had 16 touchdowns a year ago, and Copabianco had 12 catches and 3 of those touchdowns, and he makes a fantastic play on the football to come down inbounds and potentially win the game for Churchill.
What a whale of a ball game so far, and there's still some time left. And now we're going to see if The Churchill kicker kicks it all the way out of the end zone, because I'll tell you what, Clark's return game has been absolutely spectacular tonight.
Well, you got to tip your cap to Steve McGee and the Clark Cougars tonight. Losers of 8 straight in this series, but he was very creative with special teams. They had 2 incredible plays on reverses where Bivens threw to Gibbons and Gibson. And, I mean, they pulled out all the stops to try and beat Churchill here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a ball game, and they certainly did. I mean, well-executed gamesmanship on both sides. Again, not a lot of explosive plays on offense tonight, but, man, we've had some fireworks on the special teams and some really creative plays. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Kick goes out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. And Clark will have limited time as Reyes has put up 92 yards on the night, 23 carries.
5-yard penalty. Free kick.
I honestly do not blame Churchill for doing that at all, considering what Bivens and company have done tonight in the return game. Better let your defense get on the field and see if they have a better shot at trying to stop this. Clark's going to ask for a re-kick.
Well, now if you kick it away and you have any kind of return from those 2 electric returners in Bivens and Wente, Clark can put themselves in pretty good position to throw a couple Hail Marys. So they could get 20 or 30 yards here and get maybe to the 40 to start this possession. Clark might be in business. Instead, they'll squib it. That's pretty good field position. That's not bad. You take a couple of shots here. No timeouts hurts. As Luke Gibson downs it there.
Kickoff recovery.
And we've seen they've got a bag of tricks. I wonder if we've seen the same trick in that bag. I wonder if they got another one, a different one.
Yeah, they got to try to get something either quick towards the sidelines, obviously, see if they can kind of peck away for a couple of plays and see if they can't move the ball at least to the point where they can chuck one into the end zone. Or you can try to work the middle of the field and then, have a guy hook and ladder. We'll see how they decide to roll with it here.
17 seconds, no timeouts. Hooper running for his life. Good pressure, unloads incomplete. And that was great pressure by the Charger defense. And number 28, Antoine Simeon.
Indeed, getting some pressure. Look at that, just straight out, beat the guy off the snap. And that play had no time to develop. Hooper had nowhere to go with it.
And Clark's in trouble because they have no timeouts. And that play clock, although it's off here in the stadium, is tick, tick, ticking. They're in danger of a delay of game here. 12 seconds to go. Second down, Hooper looking over the middle, fires. We got Bivens. He's still on his feet. He's dangerous. He's still on his feet. Now he's brought down, and that's going to do it.
Good ball game.
I don't know why they stopped the clock. That's ball game. Churchill beats Clark 28-21 in one whale of a debut game for Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, the 10th anniversary season, and what a way to kick off the anniversary. Don't forget, when we come back, we'll give out the hardware. We'll have our night office solution play of the night. There were a lot of good plays, but here it is right here. Liam Copabianco on the receiving end of the Derek Perez touchdown for the game winner. That is our night office solutions play of the night. When we come back, Mike Hernandez will be with Ron Harris. The Churchill Chargers will hand out our Champions Trophy and our player of the game next.
Welcome to the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights postgame show, presented by Taco Cabana.
Wow, what a game to kick off the season. Churchill beats Clark 28-21 in the Gucci Bowl to make it 9 in a row. Let's go down to the field. Mike Hernandez ready to hand out the hardware. Mike?
I am. What a game. You guys were calling it up there. This is one of the best games I have seen in the Gucci Bowl here in years. Congratulations. Give yourselves a hand. And again, a big shout out to your opponents tonight, the Clark Cougars. They played a heck of a game, didn't they? All right. So there was some wonderful performances out there, both on offense and defense. We're going to talk to Coach about the new vamped offense, and that seemed to really take over late in the game. But right now, I'm going to give out your impact trophy to an individual, the player of the game, and it is going to be number 5, Derek Perez. Congratulations. 2 TDs, almost 100 yards on the ground. Big night. I know you got behind that big offensive line of yours, and between that and later in the second half of the game, especially in the fourth quarter, when the players started getting tired, you guys just took over.
Yes, sir. I'm just really proud of my guys. Sorry, I lost my voice. But we started off slow in the first half, but I'm just so proud of the way we bounced back. And it's just the craziest game I've ever been a part of. It was so fun to play.
Yeah, this is one for the record books with everything that happened with the lights and then the comeback, and it goes down to the last second. What'd you think when you came up on the line there? Did you have that play called? Were you looking for him in the corner?
Yeah, we've just been talking about throwing that fade, and we never really got around to it. And then we just thought that was the perfect time to throw it. And I trusted my receiver. Liam is a great receiver, big target, and I knew he'd come down with it. So I'm just really proud of him, and just yeah, I guess. I don't know.
All right, so turn around. Big hand for number 5 here, your quarterback, Derek Perez. All right, I want to bring in Coach Harris. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate
now,
it.
I got to tell you, before the game, I was talking to Coach, and I was like, Coach, what do you think? And he goes, I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect. Well, now you got the game under your belt. Had a little bit of everything, all kinds of emotion.
Yes, there was a little bit of everything in this game. It's always great to be learning lessons off of a win, but there are a lot of lessons to learn, both positively and negatively, that impacted us. So we did a lot of really great things. I loved our competitiveness and our resilience to keep fighting all the way to the end and come out with the victory. But in all honesty, we were our own worst enemy tonight too. So we've got to clean those things up going forward.
Well, it looked like special teams obviously was a big issue and a big plus for them. But it also seemed like once you guys settled down, you got the ball back with about, 4 or 5 minutes left in the third. You finally, it seemed like you started to kind of regain, catch your breath, and from there on out, it seemed like the game turned.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and all credit to Clark for executing those 2 onside kicks. I mean, that's something that, is really disheartening because we really work on that very scenario of teams trying to surprise onside against us. And but all credit to them, they executed. And so it made it more interesting than it needed to be from our perspective, that's for sure. But, coaches did a great job making sure the kids stayed focused and just believed and finished.
All right, well, congratulations to you. Wish you luck the rest of the season. I'm going to hand you the Hallmark University TNL
Yeah, that's a good thing.
game trophy to the Churchill Chargers. Winner tonight in the Gucci Bowl, 28-21. Congratulations, guys. Go ahead, Coach. Give it to them.
Thanks, Mike. All right, time for our highlights brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. This game was exciting in the second half. Special teams coming up big for Clark. A couple of different special teams plays that led to touchdowns, back-to-back touchdowns by Bear Wente as Clark went out in front 21-13. Wente doing a great job going up the middle off of those plays. John Cortinas with the recovery and the block punt. And it looked like Clark was in business.
Do it again, right?
Second one in a row right there. But hats off to Churchill. As Coach said, they just stayed after it. Long drive there as Alamon went in. Rosas scored the 2-point conversion to tie it at 21. And then with time winding down with just 17 seconds to go, Liam Copabianco on the receiving end of the Derek Perez touchdown pass. And Churchill wins it 28-21 as we take a look at the final numbers.
Well, I mean, obviously it's really lopsided in favor of the Churchill Chargers despite the onside kicks. I mean, you can't say enough about the job that Churchill's evolving defense did in this ball game overall. I mean, to hold Clark and those seniors, that they've got so many weapons on that team, to just 171 total yards of offense, given all the extra possessions that they were able to accrue in this game off the onside kicks. Absolutely spectacular for Churchill. And then again, you know, quarterback Perez completes 2 passes, but hey, you know what? In the final analysis, you got 12 points out of him.
Hey, coming up next week, it's going to be even better than this. We hope. Brandeis and Stevens is on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights a week from tonight. Let me just say this. Clark went 1-4 in district last year, kind of been a pushover in recent years. I think Clark's going to give some people some trouble this year. Congratulations to Cougars on a great, well-played game here against Churchill. All right, for Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines, and for Chuck McIntyre here in the booth, our statistician, as always, the extraordinary Mark Kusenberger. Our spotter tonight, Jeffrey Horvater. And for everyone behind the scenes, thanks again for watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We'll see you next week right here on the CW35.